you can trust. Our extensive knowledge of the market and industry allows us to help our clients with any real estate need. We know how to get results. So whether you're looking to buy, sell, or rent, let us put our expertise to work for you. Call us today at 931-347-9150 or visit HaneyRealtyPM.com to learn more. Haney Realty and Property Management, your best friend in real estate. If you're looking for a new job, let M&M Staffing be your guide. With over 20 years of experience, we know how to connect great people with great opportunities. We work with over 80 companies, so we're sure to find the perfect job for you. Our team is dedicated to helping you succeed, and our high customer satisfaction rate proves it. Ready to get started? Visit us at mnmstaffing.net or give us a call today at 931-347-4255.
For over 50 years, PES Energize has been proudly powering our community in Pulaski and Giles County, Tennessee. We're more than just an electric utility. We also offer internet and phone services. Our commitment to our customers and our community is what sets us apart. We're dedicated to providing safe, reliable, and innovative services. At PES Energize, we believe that serving you is a privilege. We're here for all your energy needs. Visit PESEnergize.com or call us today.
When it comes to insurance, Winterburn and Associates Insurance is the team you can trust. We offer coverage for your home, auto, business, and more. We work hard to find the best policy for you at the best price. Our personalized service means we take the time to understand your needs and make sure you understand your options. We want you to feel confident and secure with your insurance policy. Let us make insurance simple for you. Get a quote today at winterburinsurance.com or call us at 931-363-8638.
Department of Pulaski is here to help you save money. Natural gas is safe, efficient, and cost-effective. It's up to 50 to 60% less expensive than electricity for home heating. Plus, it's clean and efficient, so you can feel good about your choice. Call us today for service or visit our website to learn more. Make the switch to natural gas and start saving today.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight for the Giles County Election Forum. My name is Morgan Hoover. I'm the owner of WKSR Radio. Tonight's event is an opportunity for voters to hear directly from the candidates seeking your support for their votes on August 6th. I truly believe an informed community is a strong community. So we appreciate each candidate for taking the time to participate tonight and to share their vision for the future of Giles County. In just a moment, I'm going to let Scott Stewart share a little bit about how the rest of our evening is going to go. But first, I'd like to invite Mr. Marcus Houston up to lead us in a prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance.
You would all bow for prayer together. Father in heaven, we come before your throne of grace and mercy one more time. Thank you, God, for blessing each and every one of us, allowing us to come together as a community. We come together tonight to talk and to discuss with those who have a mind to serve us. We pray, God, that you bless each and every one here, that you open up our heart, our mind, and help us to be able to share things with each other and discuss those things in a manner that's decent and order, and that will help us grow as a community, not only benefit us, but for our families and for the future. Father, be with us as we go forward tonight in all things that we think, say, and do. In Christ's name we pray in all things. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, welcome everybody. Thank you guys. What a great crowd. I kept trying to tell Tammy Pierchowski how many I thought would be here, and y'all come out. That's great. So welcome and thanks for being here. This is going to be our third election forum that we've done with the newspaper, and I'm going to start it by acknowledging my friend, the late Billy T. Young. Billy T. was a major motivator, contributor to getting these things started back in 2018. And we started right here at Star Theater, by the way. They still had the pole in the middle, right, in 2018. So let me say thank you to Tammy Pierchowski, who hopefully has a brand new grandbaby right now, but if she doesn't, she will soon.
Last night.
Was it last night? Okay, great. Well, so we know that baby's getting loved to death, right? And then Rosie, who's also, she's taking care of us here. She's taking care of us now. Just everything that you see in this room, it's been Tammy and Rosie, and we thank you guys so much. And by the way, if you've never seen a show here at Star, change that up real soon. The next time they've got something going on here, come and watch, because it's our local people doing all that stuff, doing all these parts and singing all these songs and putting up or creating all the sets and everything. We all talk about how much we love Giles County and how much we love it, how much we love local stuff. Well, why don't you come and check out a play here at Star Theater? So, as you all know, Billy T. Young was absolutely mystified, horrified, or irritated, however you want to put it, that we had an interstate running up and down through here with cars going down, up and down all the time, money going right through this county because there was nowhere for them to stop. So he came to my office quite often, and I'm going to keep this short because I could spend the rest of the night talking about it. But the long story short, he talked me into doing what I wanted to do anyway, which was hold these forums, right? So ultimately he convinced me to do what I wanted to do. And so now and one thing that we wanted to do was hear what the candidates had to say about what's going on. Now we want to know who you are and where you came from and who your family is and all that stuff, because that's important too. But we also wanted to hear, well, what are you going to do to help us fix the budget? What are you going to do to help us get this stuff out the interstate? That was the kind of things that Billy and I talked about. So, that was the things that we were trying to do with this forum, and that's what we're going to continue on tonight. So here we are. Billy passed away last year. His wife, Debbie, and his daughter, Modesta, are here. They are the representatives of Friends of Exit 14, and Exit 14 is what Billy started that as part of his effort to eventually get that money from those people driving up down that interstate. And we're a whole lot closer than we were, right, Debbie? Well, and so and Friends of Exit 14 has been part of this forum with the citizen and now with WKSR since the beginning. So thank you guys. That's what I want to say. So now Billy's up there saying, shut up and get back to business. So here we go. These forums are pretty simple, guys. We're not here to fool anybody, trick anybody, mess anybody up. We'll call a group of candidates up who are all seeking the same office. In this case, first two we're going to have are our circuit court clerk and our trustee. They aren't necessarily seeking the same office, but rather than sit up here by themselves, we're going to they're basically going to answer the same questions. So they're going to sit up here together. But otherwise, if you're a District 1 commissioner, I'm going to call all of you up here at the same time and whatever else, what other offices that we're going to do tonight. So we'll call you up here. We'll have your names up here just like this, and in order, we'll ask you guys one at a time to tell us about yourselves. Like I said, that's important. But then after that, we're going to start asking you some questions. Each person will get an opportunity to answer the questions, and there will be a little bit of opportunity for rebuttal and questions from the other members that are up here at the table, as well as Morgan or myself if we have questions. We would really like to save those kind of rebuttal questions till after everybody's answered the question to begin with. We're trying to get this thing done by 9 o'clock. We're not going to, but we're going to try to. It's always my goal. I've never made my goal yet. With that in mind, we're going to be as strict as we can on the time, but we also want to make sure that people get to say what they want to say within that time period, okay? So we're going to ask everybody to answer the question, the original question within 2 minutes. Morgan and I will have a sign down here that says 15 seconds. That means you got 15 seconds left. Then we'll do one that says 5 seconds. That means you got 5 seconds left. And then if you go past, we're going to try to give you as much grace as we can, but you probably won't get about 15 seconds of grace after that, okay? If you think about all the people we got up here, 15 seconds, add 15 seconds to it, every time we ask a question, you start figuring out how many minutes we're going to be here, right? So we don't want to over-rush it, but we also want to make it as efficient as possible. I kind of figured most groups will get 2, maybe 3 questions in during the time period that we have set aside for everybody. Morgan and I have taken these questions all from, we've kind of gathered them together based on the stuff that we cover every single week. We know what's going on in the county. We've curated questions from the community. We put all that together and tried to come up with good questions that'll answer what people want to know as far as those people who are our voters in Giles County. So those questions will be a little general in most cases, but there'll be some specifics thrown in there as well. All right, I'm trying to get done fast, y'all, because I'm sitting up here using everybody's time on them. All right, the last thing I'm going to talk about is decorum. I want to finish this up by saying that we've been extremely blessed every time that we've done this, and thankful, by the way, that our previous debates and forums that have had candidates and audience members who have been respectful for each other, okay? We've had absolutely no problems whatsoever with people sticking out a turn or verbally attacking each other. And I really would like to keep that way, if y'all don't mind. That is exactly what we want tonight. First, this is not a back and forth affair between the audience and the people up here, all right? This is the people that are up here answering the questions from Morgan and I, and if they have questions for each other. All right, this is not an audience participation thing. As politely as we can, we ask audience members to refrain from making comments or asking questions of the candidates while they're on stage. Now, we're going to have breaks between people, and if you want to run one down out there in the audience, be nice to them, but you can ask them whatever questions you want to. So, I've said this both the first two forums that we've had, so I'm going to say it again. And I really mean this as nice as I can, okay? You know it's bad if I have to say it that way. So I'm going to say it again. If you don't think you can listen to these candidates, share ideas, and sometimes disagree with each other without interrupting them, then I would just ask that you go ahead and excuse yourself right now. That's all I'm asking. If you can't, and I think everybody I've seen in here, I feel pretty comfortable. We're all right, but just this is a good chance. If you don't think you can do it, just It's on the internet. It's on YouTube right now. It's on Facebook right now. It's on WKSR right now. Go watch it in your car. Yell at your radio in your car. Okay, so finally, kind of along those same lines, I just ask this: that we all remember what our goals are tonight. Every time we have an election, or any time we have one of these events, we're trying to make our community better for our future generations while maintaining what we love about our wonderful county, right? And so we all don't agree how to get there, obviously, right? I don't think that's a big step out. But I just hope that we can disagree and agree with the same kind of attitude, right? It's easy to agree with everybody. Even the Bible says that. Everybody can agree. We can all get along when we agree. But why don't we try to get along when we disagree? Is all I'm saying. Okay. So I know, Billy. I know. Shut up. So thank you for allowing me to say all this. I appreciate you listening to me and allowing me all this. So let's get started. So our first two candidates are going to be Natalie Oakley, who is our circuit court clerk candidate, and Tony Reisner, who's our trustee candidate. These guys are going to be we're going to be asking them basically the same questions. Most of our county offices, we're going to ask them the same questions. You guys come on up. If we've got some microphones up here from Star that we think are going to work, but I've got a handheld that I'm going to give somebody if they have a hard time. We have a hard time hearing them. And if it wasn't for Kelly, I wouldn't be able to. All right, we ready? Okay, let me get seated and we'll ask the first question, okay? Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you, guys. To both of you, I think it's really helpful to everyone to let everyone know what circuit court clerk and trustee, what that role is, what your office does. So if you could please explain the duties and responsibilities of both of those roles. And Tony, if you want to go first.
Okay. The trustee, unfortunately, nobody likes this, takes the property taxes. So I'm responsible for taking the property taxes, but I actually do three main things. I'm the county bank, so all the money in the county flows through my office. So any kind of money from all the offices, they turn it in every month and it goes through the office. So we're responsible for collecting all the money, posting all the money, and then balancing checkbooks at the end of the month. So the other, what we do is I invest idle money for the county. So I try to get all the interest that we can. Of course, there's only certain things we can do that's got to be very secure for the people. The state is very got a fine line. You can't just put it in the money market or all that kind of stuff. But we try to get all the interest we possibly can in any idle money that we have in the county. So when I started, we was only getting about 300,000 last year. Last year we got 1.7 million, and this year we've already collected 1.2 million in interest. So that's really growing, and we're investing that as we use the money of the county. Then last and not least is the property tax. So every year your taxes are due in October. You have to February to pay them. We're responsible for collecting it. This year, we've collected already over $21 million for the county. So we're here. We're well on our way of doing it. Usually we run over 99% collected every year. So thank all the citizens for paying their property taxes. I mean, I know the county commissioners and all of them love that part of it anyway. So.
Ready? The circuit court clerk serves as the official record keeper of the county, of all the court system. My office handles both the circuit criminal and civil, which is the circuit criminal handles like felony charges. The circuit civil is like the bigger lawsuits over $25,000, medical malpractice, damage torts, car wrecks. We handle the general sessions criminal and civil. All misdemeanors, DUI, stuff like that go through the general sessions criminal. Civil is considered the general sessions civil, like the small claims court, where you can file in any suit up to $25,000. We handle juvenile court, which consists of any juvenile delinquents. It could be the DCS part of it with dependency neglect. We handle all the child support cases of non-married parties. All the state trooper tickets come through my office. So if you got a speeding ticket from a trooper, that's where you'll come to pay it or go to court. We also have the jury duty. I'm the jury coordinator for the county. So all jury summonses go out twice a year, and for a 6-month term, for a juror to serve a 6-month term beginning in January and then again in July to serve. We collect court fines and fees in our office. Civil cases, like I said, if you've been a party to a civil suit and you've been sued or you have to sue someone, you would come in to file it there. You'd come in to make a payment there. Anything down to like subpoenas, issuing summons, or anything with the court system would be filed in my office.
All right, thank you both. So just a question for both of you, and I think we'll let Natalie go first this time since we let Tony go first last time. So what's something about your office? I mean, one of the things I like about having you guys tell us about your office is a lot of people don't know. And so, but a lot of times people think they know when they don't. So what's a misconception or something that people don't think they know about your office that may be maybe a misconception?
Well, most individuals who come into our office are either experiencing a stressful or difficult situation in their lives. They're either had a criminal charge, or they're a victim to a crime, or they're needing an order of protection, or, you know, you never know what you're going to be dealing with when they come in. And even with jury duty, you know, some are eager to do it and some are upset about serving. So.
Tony, your office, I bet you get a few people with some misconceptions, right?
Oh, yeah. Most of them know the property tax. I guess the most thing that people don't know, or they do it, that we're the county bank, and then everybody, all the money has to come in, and the finance writes the checks, but we have to make the checks good. So I have to watch and make sure the money's there and stuff. So a lot of people don't realize what we do. They think we just do property tax, and we ain't taking property tax. We're doing nothing. But we have, you know, every day they send down warrants and stuff that we have to make good. And of course, we have to worry about the stuff at the bank. We have to worry about fraud. You know, we have to do all kind of different stuff. So it's a lot more that goes on behind the scenes that the people don't really see. And when they come in the office, so I guess that would be the main thing. And a lot of people don't know that we try to invest the money. You know, the two other main things we do. A lot of people just think we just do property tax and that's it. That's all they concerned with. Of course, sometimes they're not real happy about that. We hear about that quite often.
All right, so one last question for you guys, and it's take as long as you want to. You know, you may not need a full 2 minutes on this, but what's something that you've been able to do in your office since you've been in? I know Natalie's been in her office for quite a while now, and Tony, you've been in for at least 4 years in one term.
Yes.
So what's something that you've been able to do that helps you serve the people better when they come in there? I know Natalie said that people are having some of their worst days when they come in there. So what's some stuff you've been able to do to help the people of Giles County in your office? Go ahead, Natalie.
We try to just meet them with the best customer service or professionalism that we can get them in their situation. My staff is wonderful at that and being prepared to tackle anything that comes along. That's about, you know, the extent of what we can do as far as that office. Now, I mean, as far as like a benefit to, like, if you're paying a traffic ticket, you are able to pay that online, or you're able to pay a civil suit, take online payments that way.
Well, you know, in our office, since I've took office, we've upgraded the office. We've done, we only had one credit card machine. Now we got 4 credit card machines. So to help speed up the process when people come in, of course, they want to get in and get out, you know, when they're paying property tax, keep the line down. We also do online payments. We do everything new where, I done a drop box where people can do it 24/7. They can just drop it off and we'll take it every day. We get that because the mail is so unreliable now. It's hard to get it and get the statements back in. And we also, this year, I'm starting it. We've got everything ready to go. Monday will be the first test one. We're doing prepayments. So you can pay your property taxes year round. And what the mean by that is you can come in like March and we'll divide it out 12 months and your payment will be, $100 or so. and we'll take it out each month. So when you get to the taxes are due, your property tax will basically be paid, you know, and it will be the same unless they've changed the property tax rate or whatever. So we think that's going to be a big benefit for the people. Some people are having trouble, you know, making that time frame and stuff on it. So, and they're on fixed income.
Thank you both. We're going to take a quick break real quick and get our District 1 commissioners up. Oh, I'm sorry, register. I will take a quick break. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Go through and let you introduce yourselves and when you first. So we'll start with Bevan.
Okay. My name is Bevan Green Collins. I'm a wife and mom to 3. I'm a lifelong Giles County resident. I have worked in the assessor's office the last 5 years, working hand in hand with the Register of Deeds office. This has given me firsthand knowledge of how important accurate records and customer service mean to the people in our county. I graduated from the University of Tennessee at Martin in 2015. I've always believed in being involved in the community, whether that be through youth sports, fundraisers, or other local events. I care deeply about serving the people of our county and making sure everyone receives professional, accessible, and dependable service.
Stephanie.
I'm Stephanie Appleton Hobbs. I am been a lifelong resident of Giles County. I am married, have 4 children and 9 grandchildren, and expecting 3 more this year. So we're going to have a house full. I currently work in the Register of Deeds office. I have learned a lot in there. Just the customer service, I enjoy that. Enjoy working with the public, and just come and see me if you need anything in there.
Okay.
I'm Terry Reisner. I'm a lifelong resident of Giles County also. My background, I've been an entrepreneur for basically the last 30 plus years. But the main thing that really has to do with this office is that I started, owned, and operated Giles Title and Escrow a little over about 20 years ago, and worked daily in the registrar's office, pretty much doing title searches, not only this registrar's office, but other registrar's offices throughout the state, and really got an intimate knowledge of the workings of the office, plus actually had to research and dissect the problems with the documents in the office. And through that time, I developed a knowledge of where if somebody comes into the office, if I'm lucky enough to get elected, then I'll be able to help them with problems that may have, because usually if somebody comes in to use our office, it is because they have a problem with a document or something, or one of their deeds. But I just want to have the opportunity to put that experience to work for the people of Giles County. So appreciate everybody's vote.
So for those who may not know what exactly this office does, explain the duties and responsibilities of the Giles County Register of Deeds. And again, Devin, we'll start with you.
Okay. The Register of Deeds records official public records such as deeds, mortgages, easements, plats, liens, releases, and other property transfers. They also record documents such as court orders, power of attorneys, and DD 214s, which are military discharge forms. This office ensures that records are accurate, secure, and accessible to the public while maintaining the compliance with the state. The office also collects fees and taxes depending on which document that you register or record.
Stephanie?
Okay. The Register of Deeds office, we do record deeds of trust, releases, liens, plats, the DD 214s, the military discharges. We do those for the veterans, and we do those for free. We don't charge to do those for the veterans. We record releases. I said that. We record different documents for the county and do collect mortgage tax on the deed of trust and then the tax on the deeds. So we do quite a bit.
Terry?
Yes, basically the main objective of the office is to record the property transfers in the state. They also, of course, they collect the transfer tax for the state, and then of course the recording fees that stay with the county. Like I said, they handle deeds of trust, easements, all the documents that basically pertain to transferring the property, and any liens that might be filed against somebody, UCC filings, anything that can affect the basic title of your property. It's there to put the public record for like title companies and attorneys who, when you go to buy a property, they can go search those records and make sure you're getting clean title to that property that you are buying. And that is basically what the Registrar's Office is. It's there to protect our history. And it also, the main thing in layman's terms is if you buy a piece of property and that deed gets recorded, it's of public record. You know, if you lose your original deed, that's fine. You go to the Registrar's Office, there's a recording, so everybody knows who owns the property.
You know, I asked this question, we've asked this question to the other guys that were up there just a minute ago, and it's, people don't get to come in your office all the time. They don't see you every day. Things change day to day, I'm sure. You know, some things are the same. So, you know, we'll start with Stephanie this time. What have you done, or what would you like to do based on your experience as the Register of Deeds to serve the county, the people that come in there, as effectively as possible for both them and the county?
Well, to serve the people as effectively as possible, we would just focus on customer service, good customer service. You come in there, we want to treat you with professionalism, courtesy. As far as doing anything in the office, we are on state laws, TCA codes that we have to go by. So as far as, you know, we can't change anything. We have to go by those laws. So, good customer service, I think, if you come in the office, we will help you with whatever you need.
Terry?
Yes, the one thing that I like to do, especially coming from the background I come from, as basically a user of the office, is just because we're a small county in Giles County, I'd like to make sure we keep up to date with everything. We have some of the best property records as far as searching the title. Giles County's second to none. I mean, they have our stuff indexed like nobody's business. But the one thing I'd really want to look into and try to do is electronic filing of the deeds, because that, if a person closes from out of town, it could make the difference in 4 to 5 day time period of actually getting to file that deed. And that is something that I've already contacted a few registrar's offices that does it now, and it seems to be something that can be pretty seamlessly put in without any extra computers or any more manpower. And that would be one of my main focuses, is to make sure we have the ability to electronically file deeds so we can cut down some of the turnaround time.
My priority would be to maintain accurate and secure records, strengthen customer service, and continuing to modernize the office in ways that make services more efficient and accessible while protecting the sensitive information. The e-filing, I had actually reached out about it. I do think that it would help, but also I think we should. But the budget has obviously been an issue for us, and that would be something that we would have to look into as far as, doing any more e-filing or anything of that sort. Just being mindful of costs. Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of misconceptions about this office, and the public may not know exactly what goes on day to day. So can you explain a little bit what the public should know and any misconceptions the public may have? And we'll start with Sam.
Well, I think just in general, a lot of people don't know what the Registers of Deed Office actually does. And like I said, I think the previous questions have answered it. But mainly it's, like I said, it protects the property records that you have and puts them of record where when you do buy something, that record's there. So you can guarantee that people can actually search it and make sure you are getting clear title. But it also is a place you can come. Just say you want to research your family history. Say you want to know, or maybe not even your family. You bought a house. You want to know who owned it in 1900. Those records are all the way back there, and the people in that office can help you search it back and tell you who owned your property in the past and stuff.
Kevin?
Yes, of course, you record your documents there, but I think a lot of people don't understand how these county offices work together. So the registrar's office, the assessor's office, and the trustee's office, they all work together. So I've been in the middle. I've also, worked with Tony. I've worked with Tammy, both offices. So you record your documents in the Register of Deeds, and then it comes to the assessor's office where they update property records, changes, set the values, with assistance from the state. And then it goes to the trustee who collect the tax payment. So a lot of people aren't familiar with how that process works. So hopefully that can help some others too.
Stephanie?
One of the biggest misconceptions that we have in the office is people think that they can come in there and we can change a document. We can, if somebody passed away and they want us to come in there and take that name off and put their name on and want us to prepare the documents, we can't prepare anything in the office. We can't change anything for you. We can't just mark something out and redo it. We can't do any of that. So I think that's been one of the biggest things since I've been there that we see a lot, that people want us to take care of it and prepare them, or they need to go see an attorney for something like that.
All right, thanks, Kit. We want to make sure also that we give everybody opportunity. Is there anything that you guys would like to share that we did not touch on that you can think of?
I would just like to say, in talking about the e-filing of the deeds, the registrar's offices I have reached out to, there is no extra cost into actually getting it into the office. A third party kind of is the middle person, and also you can charge for the e-filing. You can charge a small fee if you choose to, so it actually could be revenue for the office.
And on the e-filing, Tammy has already started that. We already have that in place at the Register of Deeds office.
All right, anybody else? I just want to make sure everybody had a chance to say everything you wanted. Okay, thank you guys. Appreciate
Thank
it.
y'all.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thank y'all.
We're going
All right, so again, this is County Commissioner District 1, and we'll start with Lynn and go down. If you could introduce yourself and tell us a quick little thing about you.
Hi, my name is Lynn Alberry. I came to Giles County in 1997. I'm originally from Florida. I've lived in Minor Hill and now I live in Ardmore. And as I tell people, I found my house at Walmart, which is a true story. And if you want it, I'll tell you about it later. I have been attending commission meetings since January of 2025. Miss Joyce Woodard Morgan had asked me if I would consider running. So I needed to know more about it and what was going on. And as I attended meetings, I had questions, so I would go and get paperwork, and then I could ask intelligent questions. And I also started a group called Giles County Capital T, Capital N Citizens Coalition. And I try to post everything on there and the meetings and everything so that the citizens will know what's going on in the county. As far as I'm a nurse and I have done home health, so I've been in people's homes and I've seen some of the problems that they have and they've talked to me about it. And then I also help with the food giveaway here. So I've seen some of the food insecurities that we have here in the county. And I prayed about it and God told me that I was going to run. So that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm Jan Beecham. I am a lifelong Giles County resident, third generation, minus my first 3 years in Florida. I was born in Florida, but my dad went down there for work. I have been married next month 47 years to my husband, Charles. We raised 2 children in Prospect, and I was schooled here, worked here, retired from the post office, both me and my husband, and just settling into retirement. So.
I'm Bradley Caldwell. I've lived here with my family since about 2007, so near on 20 years. My name might sound familiar to some of you. My father is Jim Caldwell, former county commissioner himself from District 1 and former Elton mayor. And I'm just happy to be here. Thank you.
Kathy?
I'm Dr. Kathy Roberts, and I live in Prospect. I have a PhD in computer science, bachelor's in engineering, and master's in computer science. And I'm a retired university dean. I have worked as an engineering consultant for NASA and for the Ministry of Defense in the UK, among others. And I have some transportation planning experience and have worked in regional government. So I have some ideas that I think can help the county out.
My name is Howie Kleinert. It is Southern Kleinert, not Kleinert. I'm not a resident. I'm not a born Giles County person. I was born, raised in Limestone County. Bought land in Prospect 30 years ago. I've moved up here about 18 years ago when planning on just retiring and enjoying life, but God had a different plan for me. And right now it is just stepping up and being a servant to the community that He's called me to be right now. Because I am a Christian foremost, I am a conservative, and I want to get in here and just add a little common sense to it because my work background is mostly in construction. I've been self-employed for over 20 years. I've been a project manager over the last 5 years, managing multi-million-dollar homes and everything, budgeting, making sure everything runs correctly. And I've just, my heart is just to get in here and help the community, not just District 1, but all districts come together and make this a better county for all of us.
The county commission, of course, sets the budget each year. Over the past several years, the commission has had to use reserves to fully fund the budget. Do you see that as a problem? And how do you propose the county commission balance that county budget each year, as many people are prone to say, within our means? And as part of your answer, I'd like to ask each one of you if you could share 3 areas of county government that you would be willing to cut to avoid raising taxes. And Jan, we'll start with you.
I'm not willing to cut any services. I think the previous commissioners have been fiscally irresponsible by not raising taxes a little bit. I don't want taxes any more than anybody else, but we have to have services.
The previous commission's irresponsibility with our finances has certainly led to disaster. But I think it'd also be nearly as disastrous just to go cutting willy-nilly on any of our services. I mean, you can't build up a county with nothing, and you can't build up a county by cutting it down. So I think we need to look at how our finances are and find out who's making and who's not making, and just see what we can do about fixing it so that they all sit where they need to be and do what they need to do.
Kathy?
I do see the use of reserves as a problem. It's a huge problem, and it never should have been done, but it has been. And I'm glad to see that this year we've gotten away from that. So I think that things are improving, and I like seeing that. The county commission balancing the budget each year, I like the model that started this year. I like the group sitting around and working through and coming up with solutions to not throw the cost back to the taxpayer. They did a great job this year. And I really like what happened this year, and I like that model a lot. As far as cuts go, last year, we heard a lot of suggestions along those lines. We heard library, we heard animal shelter, we heard senior citizen center, we heard airport, all those things. And yeah, you do look toward the things that aren't law enforcement and emergency services and schools first. But at the same time, I thought that this year, if we got into trouble, one of the smart things to do would be, instead of having the commission say, okay, we're going to cut airport and we're going to cut animal shelter and we're going to cut senior center. Instead of saying something like that, we just say, okay, we are X% over. We're going to go back to the department heads and say, it's up to you to come up with those savings. You need to cut, 8 or 10%, whatever it would be. Fortunately, that didn't have to happen. But I would see it more, instead of saying, okay, we're going to cut this total program, we're going to not have libraries anymore. I mean, who wants that? Nobody. I would go back and try to spread the damage across, a bigger section of the county government, rather than have one group absorb the hit.
I do not agree with this getting into the funds every year. Even this year, we got into it $110,000, which is just a little bit. The commissioner's done a great job getting it down to that amount, and the department heads come in, and some of them did cut enough to get us to this position. But I think the responsibility of the commissioners will be getting with the department heads and sitting down, and let's just talk this out and determine what we can do to help cut the budget some, just so we don't have to get into it. Because from what I understand from Graham, is within the next 2 to 3 years, there will not be any more reserves. So we've got to get in here together and work together as a community and try to get this to work out to where we can get this budget in the black every year instead of getting into the reserves.
Lynn?
I've sat through 2 budget meetings, and one thing that I noticed in the last time, there wasn't that many cuts. This time, the department heads did come together. They did make some cuts. I don't see cutting any services, but I do believe that there could be more accountability and more transparency in the way that some of the money was spent. I reckon it's like an onion, and you start peeling back the layers of it, and you get to the middle, and then you put a little bit of heat to it, and you get transparency. And I don't feel there's been enough transparency, even with some of the department heads and the commissioners, though. Like I said, they had a tough job, and this year the department heads did make some cuts. We do need the services we have, but I think there was some things that could be done. We've got different management in there now, and they're working on getting more grants and stuff like that. So We do need the services. I think sometimes it's like when you're getting stuck, you kind of got to stop, because when you keep digging, your hole gets deeper and then you just drown. And the department heads and the commissioners together have worked very hard this year to kind of stop and take another look at where we're at.
Okay, thank you guys. So how can you as a commissioner make sure that the citizens of Giles County are hearing the truth about what's happening with their government and not just what other people think is going on? Yeah, you may disagree with me that it's even a problem. If you do, that's fine. But what would you do to make sure that your constituents know what's going on and don't have speculation as to what's going on? Let's start with Bradley, please.
I mean, we benefit as a smaller community from not having nearly as much noise as, say a larger community or even a city might have to deal with. So it's not a terrible problem. Of course, at the same time, the smaller community does lean itself to rumors and, that sort of talk. But the best way, I think, as a commissioner is just to be open and honest with your constituency and have an open line to them at all times. If anyone should want to, contact me or even any of the other candidates, should they become commissioner, I feel that they should be able to and have that open conversation.
Thank you. Ms. Roberts?
I think this is the easiest question you're giving us tonight. And it's going to sound like I'm pandering to Scott and Morgan when I answer this. But we in this county are so blessed to have a viable local newspaper and a radio station that is involved in public life. And that is becoming increasingly rare, but we've got it. So first of all, you work with those people. You make good friends with them. You give them the information that they ask for. You provide what you need the public to know. And it's very simple to do. I was actually, I have a hobby of writing, and I was helping with the writer's workshop up in Kentucky in April. And I got to sit in a couple of sessions with Pulitzer Prize winning writer Al Cross. And he was pointing out some things that citizens can do to help support the local media. And I think that that's something that commissioners are bound to do. I think they have to work with the local press, local radio stations. Yeah, social media, you have to learn to master that. A lot of people are afraid of it, but in order to be a modern politician, you have to master that venue as well. But as I said, here, it's just not that difficult. We already have the mechanism in place to get good information out to the public.
Thank you, Mr. Klein.
Well, I think the biggest thing we need to do is be open more to the people. And like once a month, the commissioners, when we're voting on big subjects or anything, we need to meet at community centers and just discuss it with the people in your community, in your district. We need to be out there where they can speak to us, because if we're going to be a servant to them, we need to know what they're expecting and what they expect out of us. Just be open to them.
Yes. Ms. Aubrey.
Like I said, I started attending meetings, and I needed to have paperwork to know what they were talking about. Well, to find some of the stuff is like pulling hen's teeth. You got to go here, you got to go there, you got to go here. I'm not a computer person, I'm a pencil paper person, but I've had to learn to use the computer. And so I have gone to the finance offices, I've found out how to do a records request and get paperwork and stuff like that. And that's one thing from what I heard in this last budget commission meeting, is that we have a wonderful IT person now. So I think we can work with him and get stuff where it's more streamlined on the Giles County webpage. And then also I have found out there is equipment down in the annex building where we can record all the meetings, and we can live stream them, and we can save them so that people can go back at any time and look at the meetings and see what's going on. And then, like I said, I started the Facebook webpage And you can go to it and look. And what I do is anything that's on there, if some people, they post stuff and then they get kicked off or their comments get deleted. But if I have posted it, it's because I have the paperwork to back it. And that's one thing I've told everybody too. You might have 3 commissioners in your district, but every commissioner, all 21, work for you as a Giles County citizen. So when you write a letter, you do an email, you put everybody's name in there and you send all of them. And they've been good about getting back to you and answering you. And that's it. We're for the whole county. And yes, we have our district that we work, and people they've got my email, they've got my phone number, and they can get a hold of me.
Thank you, Jane.
Same thing, everybody said, just keep the lines of communication open. I'll have two notebooks, a yes and a no. People need to call me, tell me what they want.
Thank you. I'll let Morgan ask this last question.
I think current county commissioners can speak to this too, but how will you as a county commissioner handle the conflict that ultimately arises between what is best for the county as a whole and what individuals and constituents actually want? I think you started happy on this one.
It is a delicate balancing act because you basically have 3 responsibilities. You have the responsibility to go to dance with them that brought you. You have a responsibility to your district. You have a responsibility to the county. You are a county commissioner. You're not a district commissioner. So you have to consider that as well. And third, you have a responsibility to yourself to do what you know is right. And those things have to be balanced at all times. You have to listen. I think that, which of those plays the bigger role, it depends on the issue. But you have to listen to your constituents, and you have to pay attention, and you have to make decisions that are right for the county, that make the county be more of what it can be. And you need to keep that in mind at all times. So those 3 things, you're walking a tightrope with those 3 things. But you can always, you use your wisdom and balance those needs against each other.
Allie?
I did say I'm a conservative, but I'm not one to a fault. I will say, if you can give me the numbers on anything, I will say yes on it, but it's going to have to be the numbers that's not going to hurt the constituents of this county. And with that, I know we're not going to be able to please everybody. We're going to have to make some hard decisions, but it's going to have to be the best for the county and best for the majority of the people in the county. Like I said, sometimes it will not please everyone, but we're just going to have to make that decisions and be able to stand up and do that.
Lynn? Citizens have questions. They're the taxpayers. We're spending their money. So you listen to the people and what they want, and then you still have laws that you have to follow. So if you can explain to people why you can't do it a certain way and let them know, we would like to do this, and I understand you do this in your house, but we have laws that we have to follow. And the main thing is just keep the communication open with people. And people are smart enough to understand why you can or can't do something.
Jan?
I agree. It's not everybody's going to be happy with all the choices, but it comes down to what's best for the county as a whole, and your constituents in your district.
Bradley?
Part of bridging that gap between, the community and the individual is, pulling it together. And that's really only done through communication and mediation. But what I'd like to say is that sometimes we have to understand medicine tastes bad for a reason. It's going to hurt a little bit. Just, you just have to weather through that and get to the end.
Yeah, I would like to go back. We should probably stop after each question, but going back and looking at what we talked about while you guys have been up here, is there anything that anybody would like to either respond to something somebody else said or add that we have not touched on that you think is important? I will start with Mr. Clenard, give I'm sorry, Kleinert, and try to give you all, each of you guys a chance, or anybody can just speak up as far as that goes. Does anybody have anything else to add that we might not have touched on? Go ahead, Lynn.
I've had people ask me, are you for taxes? And like I've told them, because we live in a real world, I can't say we will never raise taxes again. But like a lot of commissioners have said, and the candidates up here, instead of a 16.1%, which hurt everybody, maybe a little bit each year. But I will say I am totally against a wheel tax. And the reason is I have friends that live in Lincoln County. They got a wheel tax to do their school. The school was done. The wheel tax has never gone away, and it just keeps going up.
Okay, anybody else want to add anything? You do? Okay, go ahead.
I would like to add one more bit of information to this. I think that in our county, some of the things coming up that we have issues with, infrastructure issues, water, comprehensive land use plan, that kind of thing, are not entirely local problems. A lot of the alternative revenue sources we seek come from the state, come from the federal government. One thing that I would like to see us get involved in, I think that we have some issues having clout with Nashville because we're small, we're rural. I would like to see us start to form and participate in a rural county coalition that will pull all the rural counties together with our rural problems and give us some more leverage at the state level to get some of that sales tax money back here, to get some other funding back here. So I would like to have that in place, and I would work toward that, and also lobbying at the state level.
Okay, wait a minute. Let Mr. Caldwell real quick.
I'd also like to say that as a county, we're one of the lowest growing counties in the state. And I think it's a real shame, especially when our neighbor to the south, Limestone County, just across the border in Alabama, they're the highest growing, one of the fastest growing counties in their state. And I think that's an incongruity between us. If they're benefiting and growing and really having that success, why can't we have some of that as well?
All right, Lynn has one other thing to say, and then I'll give everybody else another chance. Go ahead, Lynn.
And everybody talks, taxes are not the only way to make money. I live in Ardmore. I drive down 31. I pass our ag park. We have a beautiful 45-acre ag park. We can start having concerts there, more horse shows, barbecue stuff. I've been talking to some of the people that were on the Exit 14 thing and gotten suggestions from the public. That's a wonderful venue place there to have. And we need to utilize our ag park, get some barbecue cook-offs in there. I know they have the chili cook-off here in town. We don't utilize that to its fullest capacity. So that's something that we could do to bring more money into the county where we wouldn't hurt the taxpayers as much.
Okay. Anybody else? All right, let's give them a round of applause. Thank you, guys. We will take another break real quick as we get ready for our District 3 commission. back to business here. First of all, thank you guys. I want to say thank you to everybody who's signed up, by the way. I've kind of been neglected that for everybody else, but you guys, everybody who's been up so far, you guys and the guys that are coming after you, thank y'all for being here. And you're here because of the very reasons I was talking about earlier. You want to let the people know what you want to do so that they can make a good decision. So first of all, I'd like to give everybody a chance, about 45 seconds or a minute to introduce yourself, tell folks about yourself, and then we'll get started with the questions. We'll start with David.
My name's David Adams. I've been a commissioner for 24 years. I've got some experience at it, and of course, I have problems just like everybody else does. Thank you. But everybody ought to be a commissioner for at least one term. You think you can go in there and do this and do that and do that, you can't do it, and you learn a lot. You can be overeducated as well as not having any common sense. That's the way I feel about it.
Thank you, David.
My name's Chris Hadcock, and good evening, everybody. Thank y'all for letting us have this forum to talk. First of all, I am married, wife of 36 years, and got I'm father of 3 kids, got a grandchild on the way. Very happy with that. So currently, I teach at Tennessee College of Applied Technology. I'm an industrial electricity instructor. Previously, I was an electrical engineer with Temkin Company, and I had to manage budgets, and I had a certain amount of budget every year and manage projects. So that was one of the things that I think that I can bring to the county commission body if elected. So anyway, that's about it for me.
Mr. Carpenter.
Yes, my name's Rick Carpenter. Born and raised in Giles County, married to Rebecca Harris Carpenter for 44 years. Have 3 children, 5 grandchildren, 1 great-grandchild, 1 adopted grandchild. But I was a commissioner from 2010 to 2014. Then life and work got in the way, and so I stepped out of commission. Then when Tim Reisner passed away, his family come to me and asked me to finish his term. And in doing so, I come in last year and realized that I hope that I can make a difference with just 1 vote. That's what I am, it's just 1 vote. And I hope I can make a difference in it.
Thank you. Ms. Martin.
Hey. All right, so I'm Rosemary Donovan Martin, and I'm running for this commission or office because I love our community so much. It's where I was raised, where I grew up, where my parents grew up, my grandparents grew up, and where my children went to school, where I went to school. After I graduated from the University of North Alabama with a degree in social work, I've worked in social work profession for over 39 years. I plan to use this same empathy and problem-solving skills in the commissioner's role as I did with the patients that I saw daily. I serve as the elected president of the Campbellsville Area Association, where we hold 4 public events yearly. I care deeply about the people in the county and in protecting the rural way of life. I'm committed to being prepared on all issues before I vote and in speaking with our citizens. I believe each of our students in the county deserve the same opportunities. My priority is finding ways to protect our farmland and the rural character while finding opportunities for growth. Hundreds of acres of farm and forestry land are lost in a single day, and the rate is increasing. Over 10 years, Giles County has lost 7,500 acres of farm and forestry land, according to the University of Tennessee. I believe I'm the best choice to help save rural Giles County. Again, I'm Rosemary Martin, and I'm eager to learn, eager to serve, and would be honored to have your votes.
Thank you. Mr. McNeil.
My name is Brett McNeil. I'm originally from Central Florida. My late father-in-law, William T. Witherow, is how I landed here. He was born and raised in Campbellsville, so he's got deep roots. We moved here, bought our farm in 2016, married for 15 years, have an 8-year-old son who attends Richland Elementary. I'm very involved in the community where we live in Campbellsville, to include the junior football program, and currently helping the high school Richland football starting this year. Retired law enforcement officer. And one of the reasons I got into this is, if you're not familiar with the ex-Rio deal up there on the north side, I held a meeting at my farm to get a Q&A going with people trying to bring the mess in here and in the community. And people started tugging at me, so I figured I am concerned about our property. It's one reason why we bought our farm. So I'm here hoping to continue to protect the land, our water, and our children. And I greatly appreciate y'all's opportunity to give us to come up here and speak in front of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Price.
Hey, my name's Thomas Price. Everybody calls me T. I'm a third. So if you see Thomas T. Price signs, yes, me. I grew up on Little Dry Creek Road. I graduated from Richland High School. I have 2 kids at Richland now. I have 4 children altogether. After high school, Martin Methodist College. Went to Auburn Pharmacy School. Moved to Birmingham, Alabama, where I met my wife. We raised a family there, lived there several years. I got an MBA at UAB. Worked in pharmacy, healthcare, had my own business, recruiting pharmacists. Managed $1 million budgets. Worked some corporate. I've got experience with that sort of thing. As I said, I'm father of 4. I'm a pharmacist. I'm not working in pharmacy now. I'm a cattle farmer. We have about 70 head of cattle, mama cows. Small business owner. I'm not a career politician. You can tell I'm nervous. I've been nervous all day. I've been sitting at home, but I believe that we need common sense in government. I've been going to commission meetings. I've gone on probably 85, 90% of them over the past year. A lot of the committee meetings too. I've seen some things I didn't think were common sense, and I saw some things where I don't think people were being represented. I think commissioners thought they knew better than their constituency, and maybe in some cases, maybe they did, but when you got 90% of your people telling you one thing, don't go and vote for the opposite. With me, I guarantee that you will be represented. There's going to be accountability and some common sense at the commission.
Thank you, Mr. Price. So we spoke earlier, the commission has had to use reserves to fully fund the budget. Again, do you see that as a problem? How do you propose the commission balances the county budget each year? And as part of that answer, I'd like to ask if you're willing to share 3 areas of county government that you would be willing to cut to avoid raising taxes. Mr. Adcock, we're going to start with you.
Okay, would you repeat the question one more time, please?
Commission has had to use reserves to fully fund the budget. Do you see that as a problem? How do you propose that you balance the county budget each year? And if you had to cut 3 areas of the budget to avoid raising taxes, which would you cut?
Okay. First of all, I'm not a politician and I've not been in the belly of the beast, but I do not necessarily agree with the using up those reserve funds, but I think most of the commissioners did what they had to do at the time to do that. I would approach this like I approach my own household. If times get hard, I would try to cut back and see where we can make cuts and try to use a common sense approach. Times are hard. You tackle the problems that fix budgets and emergency type situations first, and you try to raise revenue for the county and get more industry in, and that way you're not soaking the taxpayers and you're not digging into the reserves. So that's my answer.
Thank you. Mr. Carpenter.
Well, the commission tries to balance the budget and we try to work within the budget. But each year you have certain things that come up that demand you to use money. to use your reserve because you're not appropriate, you don't have money appropriated for that. So that's one reason why some of the reasons why that we get into our reserve fund. Now, as far as cutting our government to cut any department, we as commissioners have asked each department to cut as much as they can. You know, we don't want to see a ambulance service short-staffed because we want them to cut their budget so much that they're having to pay overtime. They run into that last year. They cut that out now. They worked around that. You don't want your highway department to be short-staffed to where if we have a torrential rain and roads get washed out, that we don't have the money to fund to fix those. You know, our county schools, we don't want to cut the county schools. Of course, we're on a maintenance effort with the county schools, and we don't want to cut that because the kids are the future of Giles County.
Thank you, Ms. Martin.
All right. First and foremost, I want to be a good steward for the taxpayers' money. I believe that the current process of going line by line in the budget request is the correct way to look at the budget and to rely on the committees that bring the budget to us. We need to be certain that our county continues to progress and to care for the needs and services of its citizens, being careful not to delay in making necessary upkeep on new projects. As far as what I would cut and look at cutting, I'm not going to know that until I get in there. And when I get in there, I will listen to what is presented to me and make those decisions then.
Mrs. Martin. Mr. McNeil?
As far as reserves, I think they should be used for the very last resort. If you have smart spending and you're creating ways to generate money, you wouldn't have this question for us. And I think that's where we're missing the boat. As far as cutting, where I came from was a small town, and I watched it grow. And as a bargaining unit, we had to negotiate. We had to cut as police officers, and we had a step program, which is something I think could be implemented in raising taxes. If you had a step program, I'm not saying raise them now. I pay enough, $6,000 a year. But we got to find ways to generate money. Most of the conversation you hear is about cutting money or cutting positions. Any taxpayer project right now should be frozen until everybody can get it together. I don't care who ends up in the office. They need to get that part together and figure out how to generate money other than taxes. We've got opportunities around us. If we can do exit 14 like they plan on this side, it'll double it and it'll take care of them problems. So I wouldn't cut no position. You just need to freeze what we got and live within our means right now until we can get squared away.
Thank you. Mr. Price?
As far as the reserves, if absolutely necessary, of course, I'd rather do that a little bit, and I guess that's a judgment call at the time, than raise taxes. I think this year, it wasn't really the reserves, it was over collections, and it was money that was returned from last year, from what I understand. So we really didn't get into the reserves, unless you call it general fund, where the money went back. So I think we're fine with that. That's a balanced budget. I would call that a balanced budget any day. As far as cuts, there's no way to sack. We're pretty lean as it is. If you take the money that you have and you budget from that, there would be no reason to make cuts. I think growth will come organically as the tax base grows. Responsible spending, that's a better word than cuts. Let the department heads do their job. Let them, that's what we pay them to do.
Yeah.
They're they're experts at that. Let them spend responsibly. Then we'll see, if we have to dip into the reserves. Hopefully we're going to have over collections. Hopefully we're going to be growing and we're going to have a lot more money at the end of the year than we thought we were going to have. With inflation, we were already getting more sales tax revenue. Inflation hurts us all, but it helps revenue from sales tax as well. So, there's that money. I've already, I've got some principles. I wrote out some things that I think we should do it. I'm not gonna go, we could talk 30 minutes about it, but, you know, live between our means and responsible spending. And I wouldn't make any cuts.
Thank you. Mr. Adams?
Oh, I could sit up here and say a whole lot of stuff about this and about that, but you solely learn as you go. When I was first elected, I said, well, when I get up there, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. I found out quite quick it wasn't that simple. You gotta have 21 people up there working together. And I'm often been called the Lone Ranger, the yes, no man. I was always the no man. But I've always said that you cannot borrow yourself out of debt or spend yourself out of debt. And I am a very, very conservative person. My parents always told me when I was a kid coming up, if you ain't got the money to go to that ball game, you don't go. But I won't go. And that's the same way about running the county. If you ain't got the money, you can't spend it. And it's easy to sit up there and try to find out if you want to do it, but as far as getting into your reserves, sometimes you ain't got no reserves to get into. But we got to spend our money more wisely. A lot of people think that the county was born with money. I had ex-commissioners tell me, well, I thought we had plenty of money in the county. I even had one lady call me when they was asked over and said, I can't get off the hill to go to the gun. That's what call 911, they'll get you there. She said, well, why don't y'all have some salt before we can get it on these hills? I said, you want your tax to go up about a nickel so we can stockpile some salt? Oh, no. But everybody's got the answer, but it ain't as easy when you sit here knowing what you got to do. We got to spend more wisely and work more wisely. You know, we renegated a lot of schools, spent money on them. That's coming off. We're going to free up money every year a little bit more, and it may get easier and easier. But I've said time and time, when you're a commissioner, you got a lot to learn. It ain't near as easy as you thought it was. But I'll stop on that.
Thank you, David. We'll go through all these questions, and at the end, I'll go back and let everybody kind of wrap up if they got anything to say. So the next question is, just like with the previous group, how can you as a commissioner make sure the citizens of Giles County are hearing the truth about what's happening with our government and not just what other people tell them is going on or what other people think is going on? And we'll start with Mr. Carpenter.
Well, you know, if you want to know what's going on, get involved. Our radio stations and newspapers, yeah, they do a great job. But go to the meetings, go to the county meetings, talk to the commissioners up there. You know, like David said, 21 of us, sometimes we butt heads with each other, but a lot of times we put our heads together and try to find a solution. And that's what we need to do. But I would say, get involved with your commissioners. Call them. My phone line's open all the time. I'm out and about. You'll ever see me anywhere. Talk to me about a situation, and I will try to find you an answer. If I don't have the answer, I'll try to find it for you.
Thank you. Rosemary?
Okay, I too agree that we do have a great radio and newspaper. Feel free to call anytime, like y'all know, and I will continue to do that. I plan on communicating and keeping an open communication with the citizens in my area on what's going on in the commission. Thinking about and planning on having maybe holding community town hall meetings for updates when there's anything going on that they should know about. So I can also take back their information to the commission. I want to educate myself. When I get in, I want to learn all aspects of it so I can take back to the community what I have learned. So I want to be available to the community. I want them to see me out a lot, as Ricky said, that I'm planning on doing that. You see me out a lot anyway, but probably even more. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Mr. McNeil?
Same thing, you have to have open door policy. And unfortunately, you do need to get involved if you want to know. Well, they tell you to go to the source, right? So sometimes that's what you have to do. And the newspaper and radio, they're good sources, but they can bring bad information too. So go to the actual source, which is a meeting. Listen to the ones that are up there giving the information direct. Worst case, bring the information from a meeting to your district or whoever needs it. And if you don't know the answer, don't fluff it. Because when you get caught, that's what looks ugly. So just tell them, find the answer, find it, go to resources, use your resources, whatever you got to do to make sure they're getting the correct information. And one thing I'll just add, some of this might be out of order here, but some of the budget stuff, there's laws that you got to follow. I'm not going to get all of them because I don't know all of them, but there are laws the commission has to follow as far as how money's spent, how they can take tax money from different avenues of gas tax and things like that. So it's more than just a property tax that we got to think about how it can be spent.
Thank you, Mr. Price.
Like Brett said, I think they are about got it covered, but like Brett said, you go to the source, Rosemary, open communication, town hall. That's like Ricky said, go to the meetings, and watch the live stream, man. And a lot of, especially around budget time, you're looking at every 70 or 80 people, and that's great. But most of the time, there's like 1 or 2 people on that live stream, and not many people go to the commission meetings. And I've gone, like I said, to most of them, and it's really interesting. And you can, most of the time, people can discern for themselves. People are smart enough to know what's right and what's not, what's true and what's not. You read stuff online and you know that's not true, or you read it, and you go, oh, it could be true. Go to the source, find it out. Transparency, accountability. People need to do their homework. The citizens do. And, have to trust their commissioner. That's one of the main things, that trust their commissioner will represent them and their needs. Common sense.
Thank you. David?
Well, the commission's biggest trouble is our people have lost their belief in us. They're getting misrepresented, and the worst thing can happen, commissioners, sometimes something will happen or be misquoted, and people just, man, they run it out. They don't have any respect for it. And it's hard to communicate with people. But I've always done what I thought was best for my district. Of course, it's all Giles County, 7 district districts. We take our oath. We represent Giles County, but in the district that you're elected from. But most of us forget that oath. We don't do it. But it's just so much out there that it's hard to keep up with it. We do need to watch what we're spending and how we spend it for. I know everybody wants to have the best of everything, but sometimes you can't afford what you want to have. It's not right. You have to work it different ways. And it's good to have town meetings. I remember back when we had a lot of trouble with the spring, we had meetings and it went good. And then it got where you'd have a second meeting and it'd be half of the people there. And the next year it'd be another half of that. It's just hard to communicate with people. If it's something they're really, really interested in, they'll show up. But I keep up. When I've got something just like zoning, a lot of people want zoning, a lot don't. I may have 40 people. I keep up with mine. This yes and no, no. And I try to do what my people want me to do. And most of them say, when you get where we don't trust you or we don't need you in there, we'll let you know. We'll put you out. So I guess that will happen.
Thank you, David. Chris?
I am a big proponent of clear communication to all the constituents. One thing is like a town hall type meeting, and I think maybe a couple of times a year or something. I'm familiar with everybody here. They're my neighbors, and I believe all the commissioners be willing to show up to that. A town hall type of event, have a question and answer session. But another thing that I kind of like, I have my United States congressman, I get a newsletter each week from them. And I like the idea of something like a newsletter. I don't know exactly how that would work, but I would like to throw that out to my constituents. Anybody that would want to sign up for it, give them a briefing, may not be each week, but each month, or if there's something newsworthy. And also you could kind of get the pulse of your constituents with some type of forum like that, where that they could actually vote on things, or you can throw that out there and see what they think about some issue and get their feedback and then vote accordingly. So that's kind of how I see it.
All right, thank you. So how will you, as a county commissioner, handle the conflict that ultimately arises between what is best for the county as a whole, what individuals and constituents actually want? And I think we will start with Mrs. Martin.
With me?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, until I am in that position, how am I going to know what is the best? I want to hear from everyone, and if it is a conflict, I am going to still want to be educated on it. I'm going to use that word a lot. I want to know. I want to learn what is out there that can tell me what is the best. And then I will talk to the individuals and say, look, this is what I found out. Again, it's communication with this. And go back and tell them this is, try to handle it before it becomes a conflict. Keep them educated along the way, and maybe you would do it without the conflict. But until I get in there and know the true story of each thing, I want to know how to handle each conflict. But I'll plan on educating and wanting to be educated so I can help everybody in my area.
Thank you, Rosemary. Mr. McNeil?
I think I started to answer it. One of the things with the misconception basically is, like I started to say, there's laws that dictate how they can spend money and where they can pull it from, and things like that. So if you're educated as a commissioner, you can take that same information and educate the person that might not know that there's laws. And I learned this through the process of getting involved. So a lot of times you can resolve an issue just by knowing the right information to give them and not misleading.
Thank you. Mr. Price?
Conflict arises between the county as a whole and individuals or constituents. The constituents are the county. We have to remember that as commissioners, this is a big thing for me. We represent the will of the people. There's a governor candidate that I like. I heard an interview with him. I won't vote for him because of this. He said that 99% of the people, it's something he disagrees with. And he was asked if 99% of the people are for it, would you be for it? And he said, no, I'd veto it. I was like, oh, you don't get my vote then. We are a representative democracy. People elect us to represent them. And some things are judgment calls, but we can pretty much discern the will of the people. And as commissioners, we were elected to do that. And that should handle the conflict.
Thank you. Mr. Adams?
Well, I guess I need to think before I say a lot of talking, but there's just so much stuff I have to go through with. If you go through the community talking to people about your problems and what's happened, you get these non-voters. It takes up 98% of your time. And they tell you everything's wrong with the sheriff department, the school department, all the trustee offices, everything. And you just say, well, why don't you help me and let's put somebody in. Oh, one vote for the county. I won't vote. They know who's going to win. And we need to educate the people some way on about getting out and voting. I'd say 99% of the people in here has had somebody that gave their life for this country in the armed forces give us a right to vote, and then people won't use that right to get out and vote. There's two things we can still do: go to church where we want to, and vote for someone. So everybody needs to get out there and talk to their candidates, ask them about this stuff, and ask them if they know, if they have any experience with it, and see what it is. It's just a lot that you don't know till you get into office and try to find out, and it's hard to explain it all. But people make stuff so hard and not so good for other people. But, you know, as long as I'm a commissioner, I have no idea how long it's going to well, I know that one. As long as I'm in there, I'm going to represent my people in my district to my best ability. And I think I know what the biggest majority of the people in my community. All my seconds get all prove it.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. Mr. Adcock.
Well, again, I think communication is the key, and as I stated earlier, I think some form of communication, I don't quite know what that looks like yet, maybe in the form of newsletter or something to keep my constituents informed. There's 4,000 plus people in my district. And so I remember that I work for the people. So if I'm elected, I will work for the people. I will hear their voice. So I don't know better than they know. So I have a majority of the people telling me to vote a certain way, unless it's illegal or immoral or unethical. That's the way I intend to vote. So I work for the people. That's my answer.
Thank you. Mr. Carpenter.
You know, as being on the commission, you hear a lot of folks come up to you, well, I would do it like this, or a certain, how to balance the budget, how to implement a higher property tax. But until you sit on that commission, you don't know. You listen to the people. You listen to what the people not only in your district, but people around you, because you're not just going to hear from people in the 3rd district. You're going to hear from people from all over Giles County. Listen to them, because 9 times out of 10, they're right, and they got a pretty good idea of. A lot of them got a good idea of what's going on. Has everybody got a fix for it? Yes. Every one of them got a different fix for it. We do what is best for the county and what our constituents want. We got to listen to them.
All right, that was all of our questions, but I do want to go back around with everybody to just see, anybody, I want to make sure we touch on everything you guys find important, because that's what the people want to know. So anything that we've talked about, you would like to go back to, anything that we haven't touched on that you thought we ought to talk about tonight before we let you guys go. Go ahead, David, you start.
I just want to say this, I don't know what's going to happen come August, but if I do get elected, I will serve the people to the best of my ability. And I think all the commissioners went through that, but we've all got different ideas about stuff. Everybody can't be right. If everybody believed the same thing or just one thing, it wouldn't be but 2 people in this building married. Because everybody don't like the same thing. But everybody has got a fix for all the county problems. But you can have that fix, but till you got enough power to fix it, there ain't nothing you can do about it. You can say, well, I'm sorry about that and all that. But when this commission raised and county executive and all of it, so we got some good candidates running for county executive. We need to work together for the best of the county. And just let our feelings go by. And when you leave that courthouse up there, your feelings should stay up there, not out here.
Thank you, David. All right. Does anybody else have something? Go ahead, Chris.
I'd just like to say that speaking to my district, I'd appreciate your vote. And I'll approach it with honesty and integrity. And that's backed up with my Christian faith. And so I've always had a track record of that in my jobs in the past and the way I live my life. And so that's what I would bring to the job. I will work for you. I'll do the best that I can do. I'll serve you to the best of my abilities.
Yeah, one thing I'd like to add is, like I said earlier, I'm just one vote, but we work with the other 20, I work with the other 20 commissioners. You know, and we butt heads up there sometime, but every one of us try to do what is best for the county. And working together is one of the main things that we need to do. Now, like I said, whether we agree or disagree, but work together.
I kind of like both of the answers. I think that we do need to work together. We need to respect each other. We need to show each other respect. And I like what Chris said. I believe that of course, I want your vote, and I will do everything in my power to represent my area well and the county and Giles County, which I do love very much.
Thank you. Brett?
Well, one of the few that's probably been up here, I'm not originally from here, so I just ask you to not use that as part of your decision, because a lot of people do that. I was the president of Giles County Cattlemen's for 3 years, and it was a big role. But just because you're friends don't mean they're the right person. That's just honesty. The one reason, coming up here is we wanted to live somewhere out in the country. We run a cattle farm, and we need to protect the land. And that's why I'm so deeply involved in this and the water issue.
Yeah.
And I do not think that being in this seat is just to vote once a month. I think if you're a commissioner in your district, you need to be out there with your people on all problems. We have people that are hurting financially. We have kids that we have to feed. Right now, they're having trouble because it's isolated for the food boxes for this summer. We've got to get involved in that way. So it's just not voting and trying to run a budget once a year and different avenues that are related to the governor of the county, but find the needs of our people and take care of them. That's the most important, because that's what God wants. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Price.
You won't find anybody that out-researches me or outworks me. And like I said, the big thing is representing the will of the people. There's so many things we could have touched on tonight. The Shrill Ranch, the zoning issues, planning commission, subdivision standards. This county executive race is a big race. They're going to appoint a lot of boards. And, that's really affecting our water system now with all these different water departments. And some of them have issues. Some of them seem really well run. What we can do as a commission to help that out. Like Brett said, protect our natural resources. That's a big thing. But we can't, keep the needs of the people first and accurately represent what they want. That's what I'll do.
All right, thank you, guys. Let's give them a round. Oh, wait a minute. Brett had one more thing.
If anybody got looked at funny, it's the lights.
David, did you have something else?
I just want to say I appreciate everybody coming out. I might not said a lot of stuff they wanted to hear, but I'd like to have everybody's vote in the 3rd district.
Amen.
I know this, sure and for certain, we do have a water problem. And that's stunting our growth. We gotta get this water filled.
Thank you, guys. We are going to take another break real quick as we get everybody. We're going to be calling up the District 5 Commission.
started with, yeah, Gary can't see us. So we're going to give you guys 45 seconds to a minute to introduce yourselves first. We'll get that started that way. So Gail, if you don't mind, would you start, please?
Sure.
Just a second. All right. Hey, everybody. Let's get where we can hear them, okay? All right, there we go. Now go, Gail.
My name is Gail Jones. I am a Christian and a conservative Republican. A native Giles County and married to a native Giles County and George Jones. We've been married over 50 years. We have a son and daughter, and I believe we have some family here, 2 grandsons and a son-in-law, maybe. Can't tell. Oh, there you are. Well, I have. This will, if reelected, this will be my 3rd consecutive term. I also served a term back in the 90s, back when it was called quarterly court, because we only met 4 times a year. Things have changed a little bit, but still a lot of things are the same. Okay.
Tommy, just introduce yourself, please.
I'm Tommy Pollard, and first thing I want to say is I've seen some people in here with military caps on. Veterans, would you raise your hand, please? I thank you.
Yeah. Give them a round of applause.
Thank you. We're here because of you, what you did. I'm a veteran. I lived Giles County all my life, except for 1968, 69, 70 in the Marine Corps. So I thank you, veterans. We're here because of what you did. But I served 16 years on the commission, and I've been chairman of about every committee in the county, and a lot of times we got asked to cut, and we had to cut. And people say, well, you can't cut this budget, you can't cut that budget. Yes, you can, because there's never been a budget that couldn't be cut, but we do not need to mess up our services, law enforcement and medicals, but there got to be some cuts. The line items, we've seen them before. Some of them are padded very high. I've seen them. So people say, well, you're doing this again. I question myself every day. Tommy, why are you doing this again? 16-year headache is not enough. No, I need 4 more year headache. Thank you.
Thank you, Tommy. It's about time.
Hi, thanks for coming. My name is Nyla Valentine, and I've lived here 38 years, and I've raised 2 kids in our school system. And I really love Pulaski, and I've shown that by doing a lot of volunteer work and trying to make the community better. Currently working with the NAACP. I've cleaned dog kennels, and I've worked for the food drive, and I also brought the Giles County Skate Park here. I was concerned, I'm obviously the new kid on this block, about running, and I do feel like after I attended a lot of meetings myself, that I think I'd be great because I'm very enthusiastic and I'm eager to learn. I was raised by a single mom, so you learn fiscal responsibility, and that's where you don't buy things you can't afford. It's need versus want, and need always and should win. And you don't rob Peter to pay Paul. I'm also an RN of 42 years. Most of that service has been in this county, and I plan on using that experience to also bring to the county. So I just like to have the honor to serve here, and I'm eager to learn and do my part. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Steve, Mr. Woods.
Thanks. I'm Steve Woods, and I also want to thank you for having this forum, because it's really a nice thing that we can do this and talk to people and have them talk to us as well, perhaps. Nobody knows me by Steve Woods, and so the first thing I have to tell everybody is that I'm the stepson of Coach Joe Harden. Everybody knows Coach Harden, and so that's how people know me. Giles County is my home, although I haven't always lived here. As a matter of fact, we lived in Australia for 8.5 years. Really enjoyed that, but I'm a GCHS graduate. I have some qualifications I think might help the county commission. I'm not a politician, but I am a retired professional engineer. Ran an engineering and contracting firm for about 13 years. I'm a retired pastor and seminary professor, and I'm active in my church. I'm a conservative, very conservative Christian fellow as well, and a true conservative, not a rhino, a true conservative. I have some friends up here on this stage, and I must mention them. Tommy and Gail are my friends. They're very conservative folks as well. And I don't even consider myself to be running against them because I would, Gail is so well prepared in these meetings, and Tommy's such a great guy, an elder in his church and so forth that, I'd probably rather them win as me. But I plan to be a defender of the people because I think many times we have been in a situation where the tax burden has increased and increased and increased, and we've got to do something about that. So I want people to be able to trust their commission again. And I'll shut up.
Thank you, Steve. All right. Well, I'll go ahead and ask this first question, and then we'll start with Tommy this time since we started with Gail last time. And we're going to ask you guys the same question. So if you've been here tonight, you've heard these. But the county, we obviously know that the county commission sets the budget each year, and over the past several years, they have had to dip into the fund balance, the reserves, in order to fund the budget. First of all, the first question is, and this will be a three-part question, do you see that as a problem? The second is, how do we go about balancing that budget within our means? How do we live within our means, as we've all talked, as we've all heard? And then finally, give me, if you're willing to cut services, what are the three that you would be willing to cut in order to balance the budget if that's what it came to? Okay.
Well, you can make cuts without cutting people. Now, the commission, some people may think the commission can tell the highway department or somebody, you got to get rid of these two people right here. They got too many. No, you can't. No, you cannot do that. Commission does not do that. You cut their budgets where they have to figure out what to do. But you talk about taking out of the general fund to balance the budget. No, that is not a good idea at all. Because if you do that in your home budget and you take out of your savings to put in your checking, guess what's going to happen to your savings? You cannot continue to do that. And, you cannot continue to tax the people to death to try to do this. There's got to be cuts. And nobody likes cuts. I mean, I don't, but you got to take care of the county people. Now, I tell everybody, I do this job because I love my country and I love my county. And I'll help it any way I can. But you cannot cause people to have to choose between food or medicine by causing more taxes. You can't do that. With all the houses that have been built in the last several years, there was no need for no property tax increase, I'm telling you. So what do? Well, leave that general fund alone unless it is an emergency, because that's what it's there for, to save for emergencies, not just to balance the budget. I didn't vote for about maybe 11 budgets in my 16 years because of doing that. Thank you.
Thank you, Tommy. Ms. Valentine, do you need me to read it over again, or would that help?
I think I got it.
All right, go ahead.
I am absolutely opposed to the way that we tapped so severely into a fund that was meant for long-term, general purposes. I know it would have took a lot of work, and I do also commend, as I've been sitting in the meetings, the commission to this time has seemed to really work hard. To me, I've been in supervisory positions a lot, and very much so, and it's really not up to us to know every detail or even research it. It's for our department heads, if you will, to bring us those line items and what they see as fit to trim and cut. I really believe that. And also, that's not the only thing that we need to be focusing on. It's increasing the revenue. So cuts are one thing, but we need to really focus on the multiple exits that tie into Giles County that can help us bring revenue, and also different things like activities, utilize the ag park, utilize our amphitheater that's existing, and why don't we have a turkey day like Meal Day? So I do feel like there's ways to increase our revenue and maybe not have to, the cuts. So.
Thank you, Mr. Woods.
I think there's several things that we ought to mention here. One, I'm not particularly suggesting that we cut services or cut people, but I can tell you this, that over the last few years, we've given some pretty big raises to people in the county employ. And we've done a lot of things as a commission, which I'm not on currently. I'm a candidate, but not on the commission. But we've done some things that have put a lot of upward pressure on the taxes. And some people believe that the only way to compensate for that is to raise taxes. That's the only solution that some folks have. There were people on the commission that have never seen a tax they didn't like, have never seen a project, a big multi-million-dollar capital project that they didn't like. Well, I'm gonna tell you, Kevin Sorbo comes on the TV once in a while and he says, you know, the government needs money, your money. And because all of that money comes out of the pockets of you all, the taxpayers. And so when we overspend, that becomes a problem and puts upward pressure on the taxes. So capital overspending has been a big deal. We're doing a huge job on the courthouse. Some of it is necessary. Some of it I think is not so necessary. As I said, we give them big raises. We need absolute competition on bids. We need scrutiny on the overtime. Now, the commission has done some of those things this year, and I'm happy for that. We need something on the A&E architecture and engineering services contracts that most of the time I don't think ever come before the commission. And we need to look at non-mandated operating line items in the budget. Now, as Tommy rightly pointed out, we can't just tell the department heads we need to cut this, or we cut that, or cut this other thing. No, we have to allow them to do their job. Some other things I believe we need, everybody says we need new businesses to create a new tax base. Well, that's absolutely correct. And we're talking about Exit 14, that's all good and all proper. But a little bit of it in the near term is pie in the sky, because it'll take a while for those taxes to be realized. We need to pursue aggressive grants. And last thing that I'll say, Scott, if you let me, is we need more revenue sharing with the state of Tennessee. I've seen recently in one office I won't mention, but the state of Tennessee gets about 97.5% of the revenue that's generated in one particular office. Right. And we're sending all that to the state. We ought to be keeping some of that money. Revenue sharing with the state would help not only Giles County, but would help a lot of small rural counties like us. And we need to pursue that with all earnest.
Thank you, Mr. Woods. Ms. Jones?
I'm going to use last year as an example to talk about things that I thought should have been done rather than passing the increase in property taxes. When you say cutting services, maybe it's not really cutting services, and I know that's a term that the pro-taxers like to throw around, but maybe it's just cutting the fat. And you say, oh, there's no fat in this budget. Well, let me tell you something. When two particular departments come and their budgets are inflated year after, more each year, and you can't really justify it, and you're saying, well, we're going to cut the budget. No, actually, what we should have done was cut the increase in the requested budget, but we didn't. I don't think there was anything last year that was cut out. I don't remember there being such a thing done. Where would I cut? Well, the two particular departments, I would ask them to go back and refigure and bring us a more realistic, less inflated budget. Capital projects, the courthouse, $8.5 million, which will not be $8.5 million. It will be more like $10 million by the time you add the fee for OHM, the architectural firm, which when we voted on that, I voted no, but when we voted on that, we were told that was in the $8.5 million. It was not. So those are some things that I would go back and change. And as far as using reserves, this year, well, we might not have used reserves if we had done that, but last year was a really bad year to increase taxes with inflation, not just affecting government, but affecting the people. And it was, I thought, a terrible year to ask for such a thing, but okay, I'm time up.
Thank you, Gail. And about you guys know, just like you've seen, when we get through, if there's anything that we don't we'll go through all these questions and then we'll give everybody a chance to hit on anything that we might have missed, okay? So, I'll let Morgan ask this.
So how can you as commissioner make sure the citizens of Giles County are hearing the truth about what's happening with their government, not just what other people think is going on or maybe what people may say on Facebook? And Ms. Valentine, we'll start with you.
I live in a place where we're blessed to have kind of a central location, our Five Points Market. We all love and cherish that, and it's very central, and I'd love to have town halls. I also have a venue myself right there quarterly. I also think another way is to post things that we're doing. Someone on the other group suggested they're getting newsletters from the state that even keeps them more informed, and I'm all for that, and including our own county things. So I plan on having a bulletin board put up that I can post, hey, this is going on, this is going on. Also, as a nurse all those years, darn right, I know how to take calls, so give me a ring if you have questions.
Thank you. Mr. Woods.
Well, I think the main thing is listen to the people. We need to make sure that people are hearing the truth. Sometimes that's a little hard because whether it's on Facebook or whether it's in the op-ed in the paper or somebody talking on WKSR in an interview or whatever, they're saying things and everybody slants it a little bit to try to make themselves sound good, try to make themselves sound right. So it's always a little bit subjective, and sometimes it's really hard to dig down and find out exactly what the truth is. But to the greatest extent possible, we need to be honest. I mentioned that I'm a conservative Christian and a preacher, a pastor, a retired pastor. We want to be honest with the people. When we're preaching a sermon, we don't want to tell them lies. We want to tell them what the Bible says. And so to the best of our ability to do that. And I think that's the commitment that anybody who's elected to be a commissioner needs to make. Let's try to ascertain the truth. And let's hear the truth if we can, and let's always tell the truth. I mentioned one time in one of the commission meetings, and it may be unpopular, I don't know, but I told the county commission, I said, one of your problems is the people have lost trust in you. The people have lost trust in you, and I'll give you an example. There was two votes on the commission this year to implement a wheel tax by a 2/3 vote of the county commission. And not putting it to a referendum of the people. And the reason was, and they said so, the reason was because they knew how the people would vote, that the people would vote it down. We've got to do this within the commission because we know what's going to happen. They'll vote it down. That's not totally honest, is it? No. If we need to put it to a referendum, let's let the people decide and let's find out what the people believe. See, they knew what the people believed. They knew what the people wanted. We need to represent the people, as David Adams said in the last group. We need to represent the people unless there's some really, really extraordinary situation where we need to vote against what we consider to be the will of the people. We ought not do it.
Thank you, Mr. Woods. Ms. Jones.
People really need to hear with their own ears what's going on so that they can interpret it themselves. Of course, you can do that by going to the meetings. You can do that by watching the live streams, which sometimes the media provides. Sometimes there are technical problems. I do acknowledge that. And I would like to see the county start doing some live streaming. We are finally recording our meetings, our committee meetings, so that we have that backup in case there's any questions about what went on in the meeting, in case there's a question about the minutes and so forth. There's also, and this is the state stepping in to help us, there's a new state law that allows the public to speak on non-agenda items in the meeting. So that's almost like a town hall. So I hope people will take advantage of that. Technically, maybe we need better microphones and perhaps speakers in the courtroom. And in the basement, we have finally started turning on the microphones. So maybe if you're in the basement or if you're recording at the annex, if you're recording the committee meetings, maybe with the microphones on, you might actually hear what people are saying.
Thank you, Ms. Jones. Mr. Pollard.
Okay, you wonder how people know you're telling the truth or the truth hearing the truth. Well, I got a saying that I use, and some of you people in here have heard me use this saying right here. If I tell you a hen dips snuff, look under her wing, you'll find a snuff hen. I do not have a reason to lie about what's going on in all our budget stuff. Now, I go to meetings, I did. I've missed one full commission meeting in 16 years when my wife was in St. Thomas Hospital, cancer surgery. I've missed one side committee meeting. You can check my record. I go to meetings. And so if you do not go, you've heard people say, like Gail and others, go to the meeting and see what's going on. That's what you need to do. If there's not enough room, we'll figure out something. But you've got to know for yourself. I've had people call me from my district say, I want you to vote for this right here up there Monday. And I think, I'm not voting for that. And I don't tell them, well, yeah, I'll think about it. I said, no, I am not going to vote for that. I've got no reason to lie and tell you I'm going to vote for it if I'm not, and I'm not. And here we go. Wheel tax. No sirree. You say it's a fair tax. You tell me what's fair about this elderly lady and her husband out here with a 1960-something model tore-up vehicle paying the same price to drive on the roads that they drive about 50 miles a month, while somebody with a $100,000 vehicle drives about 1,000 miles a month, and they have to pay the same thing. There's nothing fair about no wheel tax. And you say, well, I'm sorry, yes, ma'am. And you say, well, Lawrence County and all these counties around us got them. Yes, they do. I can take you to these counties to show you what drive down a gravel road and drive across the creek. They ain't even got paved roads and stuff. So wheel tax, not on my vote.
Thank you. All right, guys, we're gonna go back around. Like I said, y'all know what we've talked about. Y'all also know what you want to say. Everybody, give us about a minute, if you can, to kind of wrap up anything that we haven't touched on. Oh, did I get that? Oh, I'm sorry. Never mind. Just forget all I just said. How will you, as a county commissioner, handle the conflict that arises at times between what is best for the county as a whole, but what individuals and constituents might want if there is a conflict there? And I think we're Mr. Wood, right?
You know, I think the premise of the question, Scott, with all due respect, and I like you, you're a friend, but I think it's flawed. We're assuming that what's best for the county as a whole and what individual constituents want are at odds with each other. And that's not always the case. And matter of fact, I would say it's probably seldom the case that is true. I believe we better, as commissioners, listen to the constituents, or else, as what has happened to some of the commissioners this time, because they're not running again, will happen to us. And we'll be voted out, won't we, in the next election? So here's the issue, we do need to inform the commission. There's been a lot of talk on every panel about informing the constituency, and I think all of that is positive. You know, and the scripture does say, as much as lieth in you, live peaceably with all men. And I intend to live peaceably with all men. So we have to work together. Sometimes we're going to disagree, try to work these things out as gentlemen and gentle ladies ought to do. But I think we better listen to those constituents. We better inform them. We better listen to them. And we better operate according to their best interest.
Thank you. Go ahead, Kevin.
I agree with what Steve said, but I don't know that I could state it any better. But the attitude that we know better than our constituents, I do not like. I do like hearing from my constituents, and I really appreciate phone calls and people telling me what they think. It does help, though you know you don't get to talk to everybody, but you generally have an idea of what they support. We knew last year that no, they didn't want a property tax increase, and I listen to the people. I mean, I am one of the people. I don't know more than the people. I don't believe. I mean, I can explain some laws and things like that, but in general, the big issues, I agree with the people on, and I just think the attitude that I know better than the people is not very indicative of a representative attitude.
Okay, thank you, Gary. Mr. Potter.
Okay, yeah, it's hard. At best, you're only gonna please half the people half the time. That's at best. And I have my phone number, I always have on my campaign card. People call me and, hey, I'll listen to anybody. You can disagree without being disagreeable. And so that's what you do. That's what we do. We disagree at times. And so a lot of things that needs to happen in the county, yes. Me, David Adams, Tim Reisner. For 16 years, we tried to get water everywhere through the county because it needs it. And it's got to have it. Well, let's say there was a natural disaster of a drought for crops and food and everything. Then what do you got? Because some people think food comes from Walmart. Well, no, it does not. I've been a farmer all my life. Food comes from right here. The best place you can live in the world is right here in Giles County because I've seen different parts of the world. I know.
If you got more to say, go ahead. I was premature with my 15 seconds. So if you got anything else to say, go ahead. You got a little bit more time.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you.
I dropped that on you a little fast. But.
You do have to inform your people. Let them know. Be glad when they stop you on the street or they call you. Be glad to talk to them and let them know exactly what's going on. But tell them the truth about what's going on. And you have no problem there. Well, yes, some of you will, but that's the way it goes. But just explain it to them. Be glad to talk to them. Be glad to listen to them. You know, come together as a whole, like to say, come together for the betterment of the county.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Valentine.
I'm building some low-cost housing on my property, and I don't know anything about construction. And I want to do this, or how about this? And really sometimes want that. And when my fellas, the construction guys, explain to me, no, this is why. And I'm like, oh, okay. I think that's how you reach it, is communication, like kind of everybody's been saying. But, you know, the thing is, if you explain to people, and it's the same way with parents, kids, and anything else, if you explain your no, or, you know, if that's the issue, explain it. And I think most times people buy in and understand that, and, you know, can at least more easily go along if they didn't understand the premise of what caused it to start with, if that's the conflict.
Thank you guys for your answers. Now we'll get back to what I was saying a minute ago. Now we're ready for you guys to kind of let us know in a minute or so anything that you wanted to talk about that we didn't talk about, or anything you'd like to say, or anything you'd like to respond to something else somebody said. We can start with Steve. Go ahead.
I have a little something. I just want to say, first of all, and I think probably everyone would say this, I would appreciate your vote. I certainly would appreciate your vote. And I think everybody who's spoken here tonight for any group would probably appreciate the vote. You know, I did grow up here in Giles County, but I left. I left in 1975, and I had not lived here again until 2023. For 8.5 years, I lived in Australia and pastored a church over there and taught at the seminary level over there, and have done the same thing here at Birmingham Seminary prior to going over there. You know, I think that one of those things about that, we moved back here to come to Houston, Texas, and I pastored the church there for 4 years until I retired in 2023. Now, the point of that is we actually probably could have moved anywhere we wanted to move, go anywhere we wanted to go, pretty much. And we chose to come back to Giles County, which is my home, and I consider it my home. And that's the reason I'm running, is because I do want to help. I feel like I can help, and I do want to help. We don't bear malice to anyone. We want to be affable and friendly with everyone. But there will be hard decisions that are coming up in the county commission in this next 4 years. And we need to be prepared to work together to solve them. That's it.
Thanks, sir. You want to go ahead, Carol?
I just want to say it's been an honor to serve the people of District 5 as your county commissioner for the last almost 8 years. And I again ask for your support and your vote. But I also ask that on election day, or if you vote early, that you mark your ballots for Jones, Pollard, and Woods. We will complement each other. We think alike. We're conservative. And I'd sure love to serve with these two guys, and I'd like to be reelected as well. And I would say, God bless Giles County. God bless the land of milk and honey.
Thank you, Gail. Mr. Pollard.
Yeah, I've made this statement quite a few times. I am probably the county's most extreme conservative. And I won't use the example I've used before. Whitney Kimball's heard it before, but that's okay. But it's not just that conservative part. You've got to work with people, and that is what you have to do. And so, like I said, the best you're going to do is please 50% of the people 50% of the time. That's at best. And so I don't care if you are a independent, Democrat, Republican, or if you don't even vote. That's your choice. But at the end of the day, be an American for America in Giles County.
Thanks, sir. Ms. Valentine.
I want to circle back right quick about the budget situation. We also have grants to consider, and I understand we're getting a full-time grant writer, and that's amazing, and I just wanted to throw that out. Also, I'd like to say smaller adjustments. In other words, we're all against that big 16% whatever, but if we'd have done a little bit, and it's the same way with increases and things, maybe a little bit so that you're shrinking the differences of the highs and the lows of what we're trying to do. But one thing I want to say right quick is I am more than happy to serve at the same salary rate as we had last year. We voted in, it was voted in a salary increase for the county commissioners. And I think that came up, I'm not the best right now this second with a figure, but I think it was about $55,000. It was considerable. I hope I didn't say that wrong, but at any rate, it greatly increased our salary. And I'm happy to work at what we did last year. I'm happy to show the example that we can take cuts and we can stay frugal. And I personally, and I think my other Democrats are happy to do so, which I'm obviously the lone dog out. And we've got a lot of conservatism floating up here. And I do want to say that one reason you are seeing a stronger attendance and participation from the Democrat Party is we feel like there are changes that can be made that will benefit us all. And we don't have complete conservatives in this county, even though we have a lot. And we just want to make sure that we're serving everybody. And I'm happy to represent that. And I would really appreciate your vote. I know I'm the new dog out, but just like some of our other girls have said, I am more than happy to learn. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, again. Let's give them all a round of applause. Thank you to the District 5 commissioners. And we will take another quick break. We're going to take a break. We're going to get everything set up.
settled in, we'll come back from our break. We've got our District 7 commissioners here, candidates here, Michael Cesarini and Shonda Christian. And thank you guys for being here. And we'll start off like we have with everybody else and let you guys give us about a minute or so of your to introduce yourselves. Tell us about yourselves. Michael, we'll start with you.
My name is Mike Cesarini. I'm a candidate for County Commissioner for District 7 in Giles County. My wife Kathy and I have operated a cattle farm and proudly called Giles County home for the last 47 years. We raised two daughters that graduated from Giles County High School and went on to very successful careers on their own. Kathy, my wife, is here. Everybody knows me as Mr. Cesarini, Kathy's husband. 32 years educating our youth. I spent 40 years in management at Magato, and I can say we were the best employer in the county for a long time. Is this thing a little bit too much?
Make sure I got where I can hear you. Hang on a second. Okay.
All right, can everybody hear me? Seems like there's some echo. Of course, I got my hearing aids in.
Yeah, go ahead.
40 years at Magato, I've lost my hearing. As I said, at Magato, we paid the best salaries around, and we made a paycheck every week. I know how to read a budget. I know how to cut, but I also know how to invest in the future. Our children are our future. Children of Giles County deserve a well-funded school system and a county government that places a priority on our future, not today, not yesterday, not last week, our future. We need to look ahead. We need responsible progress and economic development, but we need to do it in such a way that we protect our rural way of life. That's the reason we live here. Through decades of my work, family, and community involvement, I've gained experience and needed to help the people of District 7 with common sense, accountability, focus on moving Giles County forward. My name is Mike Cesarini. I would appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cesarini. Mr. Christian?
Grand evening. I am Dr. Shonda. I have spent my career serving the children and families across the state of Tennessee navigate through difficult situations. As a social worker, I understand the importance of listening, finding solutions, and being a voice for those that go unheard. So it is naturally that I continue this work as a county commissioner in Giles County, where I was born and raised at. I am here to serve. I promise to put people over politics and people over power. My name is Dr. Shonda, and I approve this message.
Thank you both. Thank you both. All right, you guys have had a good chance to hear the questions. We'll start off with this first one. The county commission sets the budget each year, and over the past several years, the commission has used its reserves to fully fund the budget. They called it a balanced budget, but they were digging in reserves to get to that. Do you see a problem with that, first of all? And second of all, how do we balance the budget each year? And also, if budget cuts or if service cuts are part of that, can you name some of those services you'd be willing to cut to avoid taxes? And we'll start with Dr. Shonda.
So I know the new budget is coming in this year, but no man get ready to build a tower and don't sit down and count the costs. There's a budget report that's given by each department. And so once the budget is put together, we ought to be tracking and adjusting what's going on with the budget, what's working, what's not. And so if we track in the beginning, when things are starting to happen, and if we're tracking what's going on, then we wouldn't be in a deficit. So all of us in here have a budget that we deal with at home. We can do the same thing on the commission, and each department are responsible for making sure that they stay within the budget that they gave. This is the budget that they give as a department. So we need to make sure that we're tracking and adjusting what's working, what's not, inputs, outputs. That's what we need to do. We need to track what they're saying. If they say this is what they need for the budget, then they should have a prevention plan that if emergency come up, then they have a plan to deal with whatever comes up. And we shouldn't have to go into our rainy day fund.
Thank you. Mr. Cesarini?
I agree with everything she just said. When we're sitting around the table and we're paying bills, the first thing you do is pay yourself. You put some money in savings, you put some money towards an investment, maybe toward a new house or something towards your business, and then you start paying the bills. But first of all, you set a priority. You prioritize what is important. What do we need to have? We need a roof, we need food, we need gas in the car. And then you go down, and then you find out what there's not enough. That's when the decisions have to be made. This year, we're patting ourselves on the back. We're saying we balanced the budget. I don't consider that a balance. Balanced budget is when you have the same amount of money going out as you have coming in. And I know we keep playing with the numbers, but I sat at Mankato for 40 years, and we had some times when we just didn't have enough money. So we had to make some cuts. And we knew every year that the cost of materials were going up and our labor costs, because everybody wants a raise. So we had to raise prices, and we did it. We didn't want to do it, but we had to do it. And we tried to keep it less than 2% a year. Because 2%, people say, my Social Security went up 2%. My pay went up 2%. But we've managed in the last 12 years to pass a zero increase. And what did happen? Well, last year we went up 16%, and we probably should have gone up 23%. Yes. So does that make sense? So we said last year, we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to balance the balanced budget. So how did we do it? We did the same thing again. We took $488,000 out of education, which should be our number one priority. That's our children. We took $426,000 out of our roads. Our roads. Everybody drives on the roads. Do you want potholes in your roads? No. So where does the money have to come from? Well, first of all, what happened to the 2% increase? Oh, well, we can't do that because this is an election year. We're worried about our jobs. So shame on us.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Cesarini. I think Morgan will ask the next question.
So how can you, as a commissioner, make sure the citizens of Giles County are hearing the truth about what's happening with our government, not just what other people think is going on? Mr. Cesarini, we'll start with you.
Well, I'm afraid that we are now the victims of Facebook and online. And there's a lot of rumors going around. There's a lot of problems going around, a lot of finger pointing. So the truth, I'm old fashioned. I am thankful every day that we still have a newspaper and a radio that people listen to. And I would assume that people are listening to it because I know they are. And I know they're reading the paper. So I think we need, as commissioners, we need to talk to our people, and we need to make sure if we don't agree with things that are going on, we put something in the paper. Or we get on the radio and we talk about our views. I'm not in favor of Facebook. I'm not in favor of social media, but I know it's possible that you can get messages out there quickly, and then things get repeated, and they're half-truths and lies. I believe in data, and I believe in facts, and facts matter, and the truth matters. Thank you.
Dr. Shonda.
Dr. Shonda, candidate for Commissioner District 7. And I agree with what Mike said, but I also want to say that people shouldn't see their commissioners only when it's time to vote. Mm-hmm. I've been knocking on doors, and that's what they say. We should be, I know we can't see everybody, but even having a town hall meeting maybe every quarter so that people can know what's going on if they want to come out, then we should have those meetings. Our people, the people of Giles County, is more than just a vote. They don't know you. You don't know them until you go into their neighborhoods when you want their vote. But if you consider them, if you really have their best interest at heart, then we should be strategic about making sure that they really know. A lot of young people are not going to listen to the radio. They're not going to read the newspaper. So we need to be strategic about what we can do to make sure people are hearing what's going on in the land of milk and honey.
All right. Third question here is, how will you as a commissioner handle the conflict that arises at times between what is best for the county as a whole and what individuals and constituents want? And just to clarify that, I think it's obvious that there are conflicts at times that do arise in that way. So how would you handle that if you're faced with a vote that's going to make a bunch of people mad, but you know it's the best thing to do? How do you handle that?
First of all, the most important piece of the commissioner is the people. That's one thing we got in common. What's going to be best for the people and for Giles County as a whole, not just some people, but all Giles Countyans matter. And so regardless of what party you're with, who you believe in, we need to come together as the citizens of Giles County, come together, make a decision that's going to be effective for all Giles Countyans, not just a certain group of Giles Countyans. And that's how I would do it. So if I have to compromise a little bit so that it benefits the Giles County as a whole, then that's what I'm going to do.
Thank you. Mr. Cesarini.
That's a very difficult question. Conflict is natural. Conflict is normal. But we have to base conflict on facts and not on opinions and not on agendas. We need to look forward to the next generation being better off than we are. So I think we just need to stick to our guns and then make sure that we have the facts and then go with what we think.
Thank you both. We're going to have about a minute and a half for each of you to expand on anything that we may not have been able to talk about.
I'm Dr. Shonda, candidate for County Commissioner, 7th District. And I just want to say I was born and raised here. I'm not in it for a title because I got plenty of them. I'm in it because I lived in Murfreesboro for 20 years and coming back home to Giles County to see Maury, Lewis, Lincoln, Lawrence thriving better than us just made me sick. We are called the land of milk and honey for a reason, and we should be flowing in our economy. We should be flowing with affordable housing. We should be flowing in leadership, commitment, and dedication to the people of Giles County. I am your candidate. I am here to bring unity in all areas in Giles County with the blacks, the whites, the Republicans, the Democrats, the Baptists, the Methodists, all. We should be unified. Everybody can get up and say they conservatives, they this and they that. But the real thing is Jesus said that he prayed to the Father that we would be one as he and the Father are one. And until we come together as Giles Countyans to thrive for Giles County, we will always be division. So I'm Shonda Christian, Dr. Shonda Christian, candidate for District 7. I appreciate your vote. I will do the work. My record speaks for itself.
Thank you. Mr. Cesarini.
It's hard to beat that. But I will say, I was really hoping that we would get into the meat and potatoes of this. When I first moved here, and we moved here 48 years ago, this county was growing. We were building schools. We were paving roads. We were bringing in factories. The future was ours. And what's happened in the last 12, 15 years, I don't know. But I can tell you, Limestone County is growing. Murray County is growing. And we're just standing still. Why? Because we're afraid to do the right thing. And that is invest in the future.
Yeah.
So what things that we haven't talked about tonight are, we need to look at our land use. We need a land use plan. We need a plan. We've talked about, we like the rural way of life. Well, people are coming in here that we don't really want to come in here. We need to talk about the water use. We have 4 utility districts and nobody's talked about it. Nobody's talked about it tonight. We got exits 1, 6, 14, and 22. All of them should be developed, not just 14, but all of them should be developed. 5 years ago, there was discussion about running a sewer all the way out to exit 14. We had grants coming out the bazoos. Why didn't we do it? No, we gave the money to the utility companies and said, here, spend it, any way you want. If we had run a sewer line out to exit 14, just think about the potential. Go up to exit 46 and look. We got hotels. We got new developments. We got restaurants. What's happened to Giles County? Look at exit 22. We got 2 closed strip joints and a gas station. Look across just across the street and put in a new. I mean, what's happening? We have to make investments. To do that, it takes money. And to do that, you have to have the money to spend. So, first of all, it was said earlier that people don't trust the commission anymore. Why is that? Well, even borrowing money from the schools and the roads, we're still $110,000 short. 110,000, okay, well, that's close enough, is what they said. That's close enough. And it's already been brought up by somebody else that the commission is set to have a 100% raise starting September 1st. Does everybody know that? Has it ever been brought up? It was brought up, maybe we should rescind that raise. That's $58,000. That would have cut the deficit in half. It failed. So I ask everyone here to talk to their commissioners and say, kill the raise. Go back the way we were. It was working fine. There's no reason to change it. You ask the department heads to cut their budgets and then you raise your salary 100%. That's terrible.
Thank you.
Everybody's
Thank you,
looking
Mr.
on.
Cesar. Thank you. We're going to take a quick break. We thank you guys. Give you a round of applause.
Let's give those guys a round of applause. Thank you so much. All right. One more group left tonight. For county clerk, that's county clerk, okay? Whitney Kimbrough and Yvette Randolph. And just like with everybody else, guys, we're going to start by letting you have a minute or so to introduce yourselves, tell us about yourselves. And so we'll get started with Whitney, if you don't mind, please.
Okay. I'm Whitney Kimbrough. My husband and I are both Giles County residents. We have 2 children, 2 sweet grandbabies. I currently work in the county clerk's office, and I love my job. I love serving the people of Giles County and the folks outside of our county that come in, because, as you know, our office does lots of jobs. We wear a lot of hats.
All right, thank you, Yvette.
That's it, girl.
Thank you.
It's your turn.
I may need a mic.
No, you're fine.
She talks low.
I'm Yvette Randolph, and I'm running for your next county clerk. I'm born and raised in Giles County, and I am the daughter of Wayman and Linda Reynolds. I have worked in the county clerk's office for 35 years. And before that, I worked at First National Bank for over 6 years. I have diligently and faithfully worked serving you and all citizens, and I will continue to work to serve you for the betterment of Giles County. And I guess I'll cut it off.
All right.
But
y'all don't have to be in a hurry. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I just said I do love my job, and I have been faithful, and I will continue to work hard for every citizen. I am patient. I have a desire and willingness to always go above and beyond for you and every citizen.
Okay.
You can call me anytime, reach out, any questions. I'm always willing to go above and beyond. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate you both.
Thank you guys too. These are similar to the questions that we asked the other, but I think there may be actually a little bit different. So, but the first question is, you know, it's like we've said it with that we've asked the other candidates that are running for county offices earlier. It's really helpful to let people know what the county clerk is and what happens in your office. So could you please explain the duties and responsibilities of the Giles County Clerk? And we'll start with Yvette this time. Thank you.
Okay. Our main duties, the main thing, the county clerk's office is vehicle title and registration. That is all day long. That's the main thing we do. But we also obtain, you can get your business license, marriage license, passport, hunting, fishing license, fingerprints, driver's license. You can also get the building permit. It is so much. I'm trying to think, make sure I got it. But I'm responsible for checking all the title and registrations, and also is daily, kind of like daily training every day. If someone come in with a unique situation, and the deputies, if they have a situation that they can't really resolve, they come to me, and I help them resolve the situation for the satisfaction of the customer. So during the day, I wait on customers. We all have do the same duties, but with me, I handle all the title and registrations, and I'm also a passport manager. So it's busy all day long, checking all the work and making sure it is correct before it's transmitted to the state and the titles are printed. And that's the duties. I'm
Okay.
sure and also we, there's a lot of extra, so turn over you.
Right. Thank you, Yvette.
Won't take all night.
Whitney?
We do a lot of, well, like I said, wear a lot of hats that Yvette explained, and I'm just going to say this right now. We have the best checked motor vehicle work in the state of Tennessee. But the other jobs in the office is kind of where I come in and play. I've been training for those jobs as well for the last 2 years. We do county court and the business license, the state level, marriage license, like she said, the building permits, all of those things. But we also, I just want to say that our office works very well with all the other offices in the county. We're kind of the centralized location. If you call an office, most of the time you're going to get us. We're either going to try to help you or we're going to direct you where you need to go. Just today, as an example, had an 83-year-old lady come in. She needed her grass mowed. I made a call for her to get her grass mowed. She cried. I was like, I would want someone to help my grandmother like that. So we do wear a lot of hats.
We do. We call customers if it's a mistake. We hate to call them to come back.
It's obvious you guys wear a lot of hats. You have a lot of citizen traffic.
We do.
What would you do to make sure the register, I'm sorry, we're looking at this.
County clerk.
The county clerk, the county clerk's office, to serve the county and the citizens as effectively and efficiently as possible?
I would say we should all be more cross-trained than what we are in all the jobs that we do. There are certain jobs that not everybody in the office knows what to do. So if, a person that knows how to do it's out, then I'm sorry, you're going to have to wait till the next day or till they're back in the office. So cross-training is a big thing. And I would like to see our office a little bit more technology-driven than what we do now. We do the minutes, the agenda for the county court or for the commissioners. I would love to see all of that be emailed to them because we make a whole lot of copies and a whole lot of paper leaves our office. So that would be what I would do, would be more cross-training.
Same. Exceptional customer service.
Mm-hmm.
So when customers come in, they don't have to wait. A lot of times during our lunch hour, it's not enough, with our lunchtime, and customers have to wait. And I hate to see that because we had someone to leave the other day. If you come in and we're waiting on trying to do some title work, and you have a customer to come in, they shouldn't have to wait 1 to 5 minutes if we don't have enough staff there. And I just think that we need the exceptional customer service, adequate training. CTAS office trainings, and we all should be able to go to training. So I just feel like the training, the staff is important, and always be kind and be helpful and always willing to go above and beyond for every citizen. For you and every citizen, we should always go above and beyond to make sure that all customers leave happy.
Okay, thank you, guys. One last question before, and then we'll let you guys give us a final pitch. But so, what's something about the register that this is kind of like we've asked the others. So, what's something? I'm sorry, I keep saying register. I did that. That's my mistake, by the way. I copied and pasted and forgot to change it. The county clerk. What's some of the something about the county clerk's office that the public that the public might not know that they need to know, or something that maybe people think they know but isn't correct? And I think we're with Yvette first this time.
All the duties that the things that we offer in the office, a lot of people don't know, about passports, or we do the building permits or an fishing license, and how challenging and draining it can be on a daily basis. Trying to keep customers happy and making sure that they leave satisfied. It's really a lot of challenges, and every day is something different. It's unique situations in the office, so it's just a lot that we have to deal with that you don't know. People don't know. The customers, citizens don't know. So I would want it to be better.
Okay, thank you. And Whitney, the same question.
A lot of times folks come in our office, think they're going to an office at the courthouse. They need to pay their taxes or a speeding ticket or something like that. So they're always in the wrong office. So we do direct them where they need to go. They think, we do driver's license. They think they can come to our office and do their test or what have you. And we can't do that. We're not qualified. But just the duties that we do, some folks don't realize, like all that we have to offer in our office. And, our office is a fee-based office. So we turn over quite a bit of money each month to the county on the fees that we collect. And, on the driver's license, we have folks coming in from other counties to get their driver's license, so they don't have to wait. So that's bringing in revenue. Also, fingerprints. We do fingerprints. I've had people come in from down in Florida, Montgomery, all over just to do their fingerprints because we're one of the locations that are the closest to them that'll do them.
All right, thank you, guys. So we'll wrap this up the way we have with everybody else. We'll start with Whitney. Anything that we haven't touched on? Anything that you would just like to say that you'd like to get the message out that we haven't talked about?
I would just like to say I love my job. I love going to work every single day. I get there at 7. I let folks come in early if they need to get something done. I stay late. I'm usually there till 4:30 at least. I've even gone in on Saturday and Sunday to help with a passport for someone. So I would just like to say I'm always available, and I would like to continue to work at my job and serve the citizens of Giles County and the surrounding counties that come in.
Thank you.
Same here. I would greatly appreciate your vote, support. And I love my job. I always go above and beyond for every citizen. I work late a lot of times because there are days when I'm out helping the deputies. I'm waiting on customers, and I have the heavy duty of checking all the title applications, which makes me I do work late. And I don't mind, and I love it. And people call me all the time, so I'm always available. I just took a lady some tags the other day. I do so much for the citizens, and I will continue to always be helpful and willing to go above and beyond for you and every citizen. If you ever need me, you can call anytime.
All right, thank you, guys. Anything else you'd like to ask? Okay, great job. Let's give them a round of applause. And now I'd like to give you guys a round of applause. Thank you guys, especially that stayed in. So good job, everybody. We'll be back here tomorrow night, starting at 6 o'clock. We'll have pretty much the same thing. We'll have school board members tomorrow night, county executive candidates tomorrow night, more county commission candidates tomorrow night. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your great answers to all these questions. And we will wrap up tonight. See you guys tomorrow night. Thank you.
Haney Realty and Property Management is the team you can trust. Our extensive knowledge of the market and industry allows us to help our clients with any real estate need. We know how to get results. So whether you're looking to buy, sell, or rent, let us put our expertise to work for you. Call us today at 931-347-9150 or visit HaneyRealtyPM.com to learn more. Haney Realty and Property Management, your best friend in real estate. If you're looking for a new job, let M&M Staffing be your guide. With over 20 years of experience, we know how to connect great people with great opportunities. We work with over 80 companies, so we're sure to find the perfect job for you. Our team is dedicated to helping you succeed, and our high customer satisfaction rate proves it. Ready to get started? Visit us at mnmstaffing.net or give us a call today at 931-347-4255.
For over 50 years, PES Energize has been proudly powering our community in Pulaski and Giles County, Tennessee. We're more than just an electric utility. We also offer internet and phone services. Our commitment to our customers and our community is what sets us apart. We're dedicated to providing safe, reliable, and innovative services. At PES Energize, we believe that serving you is a privilege. We're here for all your energy needs. Visit PESenergize.com or call us today.
When it comes to insurance, Winterburn & Associates Insurance is the team you can trust. We offer coverage for your home, auto, business, and more. We work hard to find the best policy for you at the best price. Our personalized service means we take the time to understand your needs and make sure you understand your options. We want you to feel confident and secure with your insurance policy. Let us make insurance simple for you. Get a quote today at winterburinsurance.com or call us at 931-363-8638.
Department of Pulaski is here to help you save money. Natural gas is safe, efficient, and cost-effective. It's up to 50 to 60% less expensive than electricity for home heating. Plus, it's clean and efficient, so you can feel good about your choice. Call us today for service or visit our website to learn more. Make the switch to natural gas and start saving today.